fucking shit.
All right, cool. Well, let's see. Hey, sometimes, as I said, cheap shit ain't too bad, because I got $4.63 for the Gallo Family Street Strawberry Wine since 1933, and it's not bad for $4. So
I am on my second cup, and it is nice.
Fuck, he's good to Al.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, this is done right now.
Yeah. Well, then we're gonna move on to the fucking Castillo Silver Puerto Rican rum. So,
oh god,
he's just pulling out shit. I swear, he's just be pulling out shit.
Well, I pulled it,
pulling shit right out of his ass.
My sister buys that shit. She buys the gold one on the regular. It's pretty good.
I need to fucking pull out more, but so all right. Well,
you finally got rid of that damn Paul Bunyan beard. Now you look like Kirk Lockwood.
No, I don't know who that is, but no, as I told Al, unlike everybody here, I went jogging for 45 minutes. I get to the car and it's fucking itching, it's scraggly. I start drinking water, it's slobbing everywhere, and I'm like, I can't be a man.
Gotta get that just for men, man. Gotta get that just for men. That beard shampoo. That's what you gotta get.
Some of us are not genetically meant to grow beards. I'm one of them.
You are genetically implied to grow beards, because I can't grow a fucking beard. I always grow that half shit
or full hair.
That's one of those. That's another one of those genes that I got that I be trying to fight off. Get the fucking under chin
plus,
hair.
remember too, like I said, I have Dad could never grow. I actually grow more face hair than Dad because he was full blooded Mohawk. So with you having,
my genetic defects.
You have like a drop of Cherokee.
My genetic defects.
Is it a drop or a dash?
My genetic defect is that the men in my family, for some reason, start graying really early. So at the age of 30, I'll grow a full beard, but it's completely white. Like, if I was to grow my beard out right now, you'd think I'm like 107 years old.
Jesus Christ.
I shit you not. Like, my beard is completely white. That's why I keep it shaved.
That's like, when it was funny getting older, like, I grew up with the comic legends, like Richard Pryor and Dan Aykroyd. Steve Martin, when I was like 5, had gray hair. Mm-hmm. Steve Martin was like 20.
He erased it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Steve Martin, you never knew how old the man was because he was like, he looked the same for the past 50 fucking years.
Exactly. He's had gray hair as long as I've known him. Like,
yeah, it's...
Oh fuck! Here we fucking go.
So what are you sucking down over there?
Fucking cold ass fucking fireball that you happen to buy for me because you was just like, I know he's angry today because I was on the phone with this son of a bitch and while he was at work and he already sounded pissed off because people were calling his name asking him to do shit, which is very fucking simple. And it's just like, you know what? I already knew that this was gonna be something crazy. Yep, this was going to happen today, that I was going to get a fuck ton of questions from people to answer. I'm only going to do a couple, though, because I ain't got the patience to answer everybody.
So Jen said she'll listen to this. She's not here because apparently they're shutting down the bridges to her island and stuff, too, and she's trapped, and maybe she'll face the zombie apocalypse. I don't know, but...
So. Oh, Jesus Christ. One of my friends, his name is Lance. He just asked me a really crazy question, but I'm actually still going to answer this question. And he asked me, is there such a thing as competitive sex on TV? Now, here's the thing. He says, and if it...
fuck?
Yes. He actually asked... It's a real question.
Raise my hand. So is Lance an actual person that
yes, he is my coworker.
Because you have a tendency to have friends that no one else talks to but you, so it has me wondering. So
okay, well, unlike your imaginary friends, my friends, this is my coworker.
My flashlight is very real. Trust me. Like
my friend is a coworker at Best Buy, and he asked me this question because he wanted me to. He actually wanted me to answer this question, and actually, there is in Japan. They actually do have competitive sex. You actually have to look that up.
Thank you, Google. Give me a second.
They actually have a competition of sex.
Japan. Keep talking.
I mean, I don't know much about it. I really don't know anything about it, but it is a thing. Like, it is an actual thing. There are videos on Facebook that actually support it. So that I don't understand it.
What's the competition, though? What are you trying to see? Who could nut first?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know the point of it.
I remember that happened years ago before the internet got to be what it was.
Yeah.
I was watching this one. Forgot what show it was. They had a competition with guys. No bullshit. I'm not Google again too. They were looking up like how many times you could nut in 24 hours, and they would have guys like in an arena, and these girls just they're taking turns jerking them off and sucking and fucking them. How many loads you could shoot in a 24-hour time period? I'm like,
but that's not a fair competition because that literally differs from guy to guy. Like that's a fact. Like there are guys who could like blow loads all goddamn night, and then if you're like me, after the third nut, everything hurts.
That's a fact, though. I ain't gonna hold you. That is a fact.
So it's crazy.
Holy shit.
Goddamn Google. I can't find it.
You know, I was going to ask you a
this
question,
years ago.
Susan, but I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm going to keep that question to myself.
Thank you.
You know.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Well, it's because it just showed up at the top of my brain like immediately, and I have a really bad tendency of asking questions right off the bat without really thinking of the repercussions of those questions. But for that split second, because I don't have enough fireball in my system on top of that, but for that split second, I had a thought, maybe I should hold on to that question. So I'm going to hold on to that question for now. But that question probably will be asked by the time this podcast is over, just to let you know.
Chris, this is a good idea.
Yeah, well, so that's going to be...
Jesus Christ. He must have had a stressful day
He's
at
not
work.
lying, but no. So this is we have two piles. The pile of good stuff and the pile that's helmed by the legendary... Canadian.
No, I'm not even. You know what? We're not saying it. We're not saying that shitty ass whiskey that you bought.
Canadian LTD whiskey made and produced in Kentucky.
This is some bullshit.
If you want quality Canadian whiskey, where do you brew it? Kentucky.
No, it's not brewed in
And
Kentucky.
it tastes like moose piss.
It tastes like absolute fucking shit.
I found on Wikipedia something called air sex. It's a performance actively invented in Japan. Clothed men and women stimulate sexual activity with an invisible partner, often in an exaggerated manner, set to music in a competition before an audience. So that's under competitive sex, but
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like so Lance, that answers your question. That competitive sex is a thing, but it's in Japan.
Created by the Japanese.
Yep, you know that's such a thing that's created by the Japanese. And actually look up Russia. I think they did something like that in Russia too.
I typed in Japanese sex show, and of course Pornhub popped up. But I know for a fact.
I mean, of course. I mean, that's going to be on Pornhub.
Japanese sex game. I'm gonna keep looking.
You know, that's definitely going to be on Pornhub.
I do remember. See, this was years ago. I was watching something. It could have been like maybe it was Real Sex on HBO or something. But there was it's probably was Real Sex I was watching in prison, because Real Sex we talk about everything. But there was a fucking game show. They were competing. How many times you could bust in a fucking 24-hour period?
Okay, so
you're saying Russian?
Yeah, look up Russian too. While Chris is looking that up, I got another question. This girl Rachel, she's a good friend of mine. And she asked me literally just a couple minutes ago how my Tinder profile is looking. Now, here is a backstory about my Tinder profile. You ready for this, guys? Okay, listen up. So I was drunk as fuck when I made my Tinder account. And my Tinder account, I was actually really scared to look at it. And when I looked at it, it was actually pretty hilarious. I'm actually going to pull it up right now because it's funny as fuck. So, here we go. So here is my profile, and exactly what it says in my profile is literally the funniest thing ever. You ready for this? It is the first sentence in my Tinder profile. It says, "I'm on Tinder to eat some ass." That is literally the first sentence in my Tinder profile. No relationship.
Why does that not surprise me?
Exactly. No relationship, no drama. You having a bad day? Throw that cooter in this direction. Tell me all about it as you ascend to your throne using my face as your chair queen. I'm your servant. Don't even let me breathe. If I die, I die. You know what's funny about this? First of all, that is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe I actually posted that on Tinder. What's funny is that I actually kept that up, and I have exactly 4 matches right now, and it's hilarious. I've only had it for a couple of days, and I have 4 matches, even though one of the girls that liked me really looked like a fucking moose. So it's not like I'm actually going to really do anything with that, and one of those girls was as big as the fucking Great Wall of China. So it's definitely not going to happen with that. You know, I wanted to message her and be like, I don't understand how we matched, because I should have fucking messaged you and said you need about 6 months of Slim Fast straight to even think about fucking talking to me, but I didn't do that. So, you know, that's like in my natural state of anger. So I didn't actually do that.
You are such a wonderful human being.
I am not a wonderful human being. I am an
I
asshole.
aspire to be you in life.
No, do not inspire to be me. I am a complete piece of shit. I am 100% honest, and I don't really give a fuck.
You are the way in which I am going to get hosed.
I hope so. I really hope so. And shout me out the next time you do something like that, all right? Like, you know. So, last question before we move on to Chris and, you know, his typical greeting of, this is episode this, and this is the date and the time that we're doing it. So before he gets into his robot state,
I'm skipping that.
I'm going to talk one more question, and this is from Leah. Leah, I was just at your house last night, and I had an amazing time smoking a lot. Oh, I definitely, if she gave me the opportunity to eat her ass, I would definitely do it. That's not even a question. But she's my best friend, though, so, you know.
You will eventually.
But, I mean, shit, like I said, if I get that opportunity, I'm going to get the licking. Anyway, so, she asked me the simple question. It's a very simple question. Why is it that it's so hard for guys and girls to be friends in this generation? This is a very, very simple question. It's because men really, when they look at a female, when they look at, especially the woman that's attractive, they're thinking about fucking and fucking only. And they're thinking about every possible way that they can get into their pants. Whether it's pillow talking, whether it's trying to establish a friendship first. But when they're trying to establish a friendship, they're they're high key flirting. Like they're not even trying to hide the fact that they're trying to get into the pants. It's just there. Like they'll be a friend at first, then pull them to the side and say, "Oh, hey, I find you attractive. I think we're vibing. We should fuck." It's literally, that's just what it goes to.
Damn, you're right.
You know what's funny about that is that there are actually, what's funny in this generation is that when a guy actually tries to be a friend with a girl at first, we're considered gay. It's true. Like, it's literally true. Like, it
goes back to something I said earlier. Like, girls, if a girl sees you as a friend, she doesn't want to date you.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys have to see you as a friend in order to date you. So guys like need girls to be friends, but it's like it's just the polar opposite type of thing.
My whole life. That's my friend Chris. Especially when they say that's my best friend, Chris. As soon as you insert
the friend zone,
the friend is like, you still have maybe a 1% chance you may get some pity sex from her, drunken sex. When she slaps into best friend, that's just now you're her brother at that point. Once you're her male best friend.
It's very possible to graduate from the friend zone. It's very possible, but you got to be very persistent, and you got to threaten the friendship. Like, you almost have to threaten the friendship to graduate from the friend zone.
Almost. You definitely have to. Either give me them buns or this friendship is over.
Ultimatum time.
That's been the bane of how many fucking rom-coms. This guy be a friend with a girl for 5, 10, 15 fucking years, and like, I've always had a crush on you, and you should have known. I never knew, and like, you know.
Let me tell you why that sucks is because all those fucking, like, everything you learn as a guy growing up tells you one thing. They tell you, like, you got to respect women, and you got to be a nice guy, you got to treat them right, you got to do all this stuff. But the reality of it is, women don't immediately respond to that shit. What they respond to is this guy over here that doesn't give a shit about them.
Facts.
That's all about himself, all in his own zone.
Facts.
And they fall into that spiral, into his orbit, and they're like, oh, this guy is so cool, he's so amazing. Meanwhile, this fucking idiot over here that's the best friend and it will do anything for her gets, you just get relegated to like the back corner.
He said, this fucking idiot over here that really wants to do something with this girl.
Exactly. Like
it's so true.
Like the certain guys are like, oh, I like her so much, I'll treat her like a queen, I'll do whatever she wants to make her happy, and that shit is a turnoff to women.
Yep, Chris, you should have just said it. You didn't even have to point at yourself.
Well, they can't see in the podcast, but it was this asshole he's talking about, this idiot, we'll just use a name, for example. We'll call him Chris, for example, you know?
We're talking about you.
It could be some guy named Chris who does this shit.
Chris is like, I'll give her some poetry, I'll treat her like a queen.
A lot of guys go through that.
Remember and get her something very personal.
Exactly. Yo, your favorite store is Things Remembered. Yo,
every girl that you know.
Yo, seriously.
Yeah.
What the fuck is up with Things Remembered?
They do remember, all right.
Boy, I would have went to Build-A-Bear and made her a plush dick. Let me stuff this shit up extra tight.
The best one too is I'm a single mom, and nobody, not a single person, not family, not friends, nobody got me anything for Mother's Day, and I'm like, I'll get you some flowers or some chocolates, buddy, and thank you. And she's blowing the guy next day.
Yep.
Who didn't get her shit.
Exactly. Blowing the guy that didn't give her shit the next day.
He didn't give her shit, and he is never going to give her shit, and she is going to worship the ground he walks on. It's a weird dynamic.
Yo, Chris, you should have just asked her you should have just asked her to sit on your face for Mother's Day. Give her the best present in the world, some tongue action. Yep.
Well, yeah, that's like, the kindness stuff. You feel bad when, like I said, I was lucky where Susan, Jen, Mom, everybody stopped by, but my surgery, I was, you didn't stop by. I was only in for 2 fucking days, but I can understand too. Even those 2 days, it feels like an eternity. When someone's like, I've been after surgery, I was in here for 2 to 3 weeks, and nobody even bought me a fucking card. And I'm like, again, this is half me. The man in me is like, well, maybe nobody bought you a card because you burned all your fucking bridges, and everyone's pissed off at you because you're an asshole, and you kind of deserved it. And of course,
that's what I say.
Then of course, the sap in me is like, I still feel bad because
part of you.
Yeah, you spent
the vagina part.
Yeah. That's just,
Don't die, Al.
He's right though. Because girl in me is like, who wants somebody who's been 3 weeks in the hospital and like, no one give a fuck about me except you. And I'm like, okay. Then as soon as she gets out, she's like,
now he puts on his bunny slippers and then goes in.
And as soon as she gets out, I'm like, hey, you want to hang out? No. Chris, you're my best friend.
Not even no. New phone. Who dis?
Yeah.
You should have just ate her pussy in the hospital bed.
Or don't even put down Well,
that would have just got the point across. Like, listen, bitch, when you get out of this hospital, you're mine.
Yeah, and they'll put down like, here's hospital photos of me and Chris and stuff, and like he's my best buddy and he's awesome. The day fucking she gets out, you show up and stuff too. You want to get a ride home and
like,
where's she at? She caught a cab. I'm like, oh shit, okay, well maybe I'll meet her at her house, and then like she's not home. Like, wait a sec, he's got the hospital. Like,
went to her douchebag significant other's house. Yeah. Oh my God!
She probably got over there like she was like, I was in the hospital. He was like, were you? I didn't know that.
I didn't know. He's like, I texted you 15 times. I
called you and left a message. I didn't even check that. I don't care about you that much.
See, guys just have to have the perfect balance. We got to have the balance of the asshole. I call this religion assholism. All right. So what does assholism stand for? Because this is what I follow. This is my religion, right? Is when you're a total piece of shit, but you're also a nice person. So with me, I could be a total piece of shit about 80% of the time, but I'm a nice person 20% of the time. Like, you know what? I'll eat your... Like, you know what? I'll go up to any girl and be like, yo, you know what? I'll definitely eat your ass, but I'll be your best friend.
Those numbers seem way off. The 20% nice person.
No, I'm definitely 20% nice guy. All right, you gotta relax. 15 is a little low. All right, I like to borderline pass myself with 20%.
It could have been worse. I could have said 5.
I mean, it would have been believable at this point.
That's his hairline. Come on.
You know what? No, that's not true. I actually have about 70% of my hairline. Thank you. All right, it only depleted 30%, which I am fixing with Rogaine. So yeah, that's what it is. I fight that genetics. Hard.
Well, you're not 35 yet. Every 7 years.
You know, you need to relax, all right? By the time I'm 35, I'm disappearing.
We will never see him again.
Jesus Christ. Ain't that dramatic.
Like Junior who?
So you guys got time for one more question? You guys want me to ask one more question?
I'm breaking out the fucking... We're breaking out the Puerto Rican rum. So
all right, let me get in my phone real quick and let me see what another question that I have.
So maybe times have changed, but fuck Google. I've checked the past 15 minutes, all these Japanese and Chinese orgasm shows, and besides Pornhub, which I'm tempted to watch right now, but I can't find anything, so...
Do not watch
porn.
Your cousin sitting here.
Exactly. Like, why would you
I'll
watch
move the screen
porn?
over towards Al. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, you and Al watching porn together doesn't sound like something that's out of the ordinary.
He said that with such confidence. I'll just turn it over so Al can say,
Al,
damn.
There's nothing gay about two grown men watching porn.
Exactly.
That's nothing gay about it. You're absolutely right.
I mean, come on. This man takes me out to a buffet and feeds me. Junior's just like, I feed Chris. Comes over. Yo, buddy, I got you a hamburger. Awesome, man. He gives me a burger. I'm munching on it. Junior pulls out a box of chicken. All right, cool. Second box, what's that? He's like, that's a burger. Okay. Third box, I got some breadsticks. I'm like, all right. Fourth fucking box. I'm like, for Christ's sakes, dude. Like,
yeah. Trying to fatten his fat ass up.
I mean, I appreciate the one burger with the little box, and 4 boxes later, he's still eating. And I'm like, how am I the one breaking chairs? Like,
you want to know why? You want to know why? Because I'm flabby. That's what it comes down to. Because I'm flabby fat. You're muscular fat, and I'm flabby fat.
Hey, Christian, see me yesterday. I did a whole fucking 45-minute kettlebell workout. Like, I'm stronger than I look. The numbers won't go down. Like,
well, all right, real quick. One other shout out to this girl named Molly, and I'm not talking about the drug. I am talking about the girl that I haven't seen in a few years. The last time I seen her is for the Halloween party that I threw back in 2015. It was one of the biggest parties that I ever threw. There was about 600 people that came to this house, and it was a monstrous party. No, I didn't have it really under control after about 10:30 at night. Don't really care. We partied really hard for about 3.5 hours straight, and it was an amazing time, and it was just one of the best nights I've ever had in my life. This girl here, she was pretty much by my side the whole night. She was, being security and just making sure people were acting right in certain places of the house so they weren't destroying my house during the party, which I definitely appreciate. She is really a good person. She's really attractive. And I would definitely eat that ass if she ever gave me the opportunity to. But in the whole process, there's definitely shout out to her. We reconnected today while I was at work, and I told her I was going to shout her out in today's podcast. So that's another person that I definitely am shouting out today. One more person. His name is Regis. He is another one of my coworkers at Best Buy. And I'm not scared to talk about the fact that I work at Best Buy. I really don't give a fuck, But what it is just that he asked me a question today about, my stance on all of the protesting and the riots that are going on. My personal stance. Completely unbiased, no research done. Yeah. How do I feel? 100%. How do I feel? To answer your question, Regis, how I feel about the riots is, you know what? They're justified. They're justified to be angry. They're justified to, attack the aggressors. They're justified to do that. You know what I'm saying? To attack the aggressors and to be angry at the police. What I don't feel that they're justified at is the opportunistic looting. The opportunities that they're taking to loot, especially targeting certain stores, I don't agree with. Another thing that I don't agree with is I don't agree with them setting fires to buildings and then stopping the fire department from knocking out these fires, especially occupied buildings where their children have actually literally were actually burned alive inside of these buildings. I don't agree with that because other people are dying and getting seriously injured because of their actions as well. And I understand anger is not a logical emotion to have. But at the same time, there needs to be enough logic to understand that if you're killing the people, if we're killing ourselves during these riots and protests, you're defeating the purpose of protesting that cops are killing us. That is my personal stance on that. That's what I don't agree with. I agree with both sides and both angles of it. Again, there was a meme that was shared on Facebook that I 100% agree with. There was a meme that says there may be 10 bad cops, and 1,000 good cops. But if those 1,000 good cops don't put those 10 bad cops in their place, there's 1,010 bad cops. And I agree with that statement 100%. And that is my stance. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it brief and to the point. That is how I feel about the riots. So that's all the questions that I have today for the Q&A. I'm pretty much going forward with these podcasts. I hope to get more questions like these. I hope that people actually come forward, come in my inbox and ask me these questions, because I want to answer. I'm going to answer these questions with 100% truth. And I don't, I have no remorse, no apologies for anything that I'm going to say if you were to ask me these questions or just in general. So feel free to ask me anything that you want. So with that being said, Q&A is over with. So I'm going to hand the mic to Chris now.
Well, definitely with the whole riot thing, we all can later on. As of right now, I've been texting Al back and forth all day and reading stuff on Facebook and my phone. I'm not sober enough for that shit because at this point, and I've said this to you before, actually on the phone, the more I read, the more my fucking brain hurts to the point where it's I feel like every day my IQ is dropping because there's just so much out there. I'm I don't even know what the fuck, I don't know how to feel anymore. I really don't, because for every pro-Trump, there's negative Trump. For every racist, it's just for every there's just so many, the numbers are constantly changing and I just don't fucking know anymore. I really don't.
The one person that I'm not going to look at when it comes to these riots and the protests, as of right now, the person that I'm not going to look at is Trump. I'm not going to look at Trump. The people that I'm going to look at is how the states are going to respond. Because it's state legislation first before federal legislation. How is the state legislation going to change? Because it happened in Minneapolis, right? That's where Greg Floyd died.
Yeah.
I mean, not Greg, George. Sorry. I keep saying that wrong. But George Floyd died in Minneapolis. Okay? The change starts there. You know what I'm saying? That's where people erupted. That's when the riots and the protesting erupted. It's from there, and it spread throughout the entire country. And even in some places around the world, George Floyd's death, and just in general with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, is going on. I consider it a movement because it is a movement. And there was another meme that was posted on Facebook that when we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying all lives don't matter. We're not saying, that we're only about black people. We're not saying that we're, fuck everybody else. What we're saying is Black Lives Matter in the sense that we're tired of the last 3 months, 100 black people have died unjustifiably, and there's no accountability for it.
No, you don't have to explain that. Don't for 1 minute think that the people that oppose Black Lives Matter don't think that they don't understand. They understand. They get it, because white life has always mattered in this country. Always. There's never been a time where a little white kid has went missing, or a white woman has went missing, or a white man didn't show up for work, where there wasn't a massive investigation, police, massive resources put into finding. White life has always mattered. Yep. It's always seemed like black lives didn't matter. And now when people say Black Lives Matter, these people come out and protest, oh, well, all lives matter. Well, if you feel like all lives matter, why is it a problem when I say Black Lives Matter? Yep. If all lives supposedly matter, why is it a problem when I say that my life matters just as much as yours? Yep. They don't believe that they don't understand it, is that they don't care. Yep. They don't want black people to have the same amount of importance as they feel that they have. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to.
Not to mention, almost what I was saying, a lot of people are in fucking denial. You can sit there and say, we can spout numbers all fucking day, we can show videos all fucking day, and said once people get into a certain mindset, you're not going to change it.
Like I said before, the thing about white supremacy and racism, it's a choice. It's a choice. Yep. This is what happens. People grow up that way, and they pass that teaching on to their kids. The problem is, by the time you become a teenager or you're in your early 20s, you acknowledge the fact that this whole concept is bullshit. But they choose. In order for, in an earlier episode, I was talking about how it's all ego-driven, and that's what mainly it is. They choose to continue with this white supremacy mindset and this I'm better and you're not because of skin color, which is the stupidest thing in the world. Science has already proven there's no difference in colors of humans. There's literally, we're all literally different shades of the same color. Mm-hmm. That's all we are. Some people have more melanin, some people have less, with the exceptions of the albinos who were born without melanin completely, which is I don't want to call them a defect. They're more like an anomaly. They're not a normal course of action for the human existence. But other than albinos, every person has melanin. Every white person, every light-skinned person, every dark-skinned person, we all have melanin. We simply have different amounts of it. Yep. Different shades of the same fucking animal. People want to take that and make it into something more. Race is a construct that was created. There aren't any race of plants. There aren't any race of animals. The only species on this planet that has race are humans. We created that. It's true. That's a non-existent concept. And we created that to simply create division amongst us. Well, we're this color. Like if you look at a lot of Spanish history, they talk about the Spanish colonies in parts of the world. They created what was called a caste system, in which they say if you want to be, the lighter your skin is, the more important you are. That's basically how the caste system worked. Yeah. And that has been ingrained into almost every Hispanic civilization on the planet. They all felt that way at one point or another. It's only in the modern era. And the bad thing for them is that they never had like a civil rights movement in those places in the world. So they never had people to stand up and fight and say, this racist shit is wrong. In America and in parts of Europe where we actually got to the point where this isn't going to work anymore because it doesn't benefit anybody. And we started with all the civil rights and equal rights movements and all this other stuff. That was to basically level the playing field. And people, it's crazy because if you ask, sit down and talk to a racist or a white supremacist and ask them, really, really, what are you getting out of this? What are you getting? What is the point of holding on to? Because in this modern world, we've been trying so hard to move forward. And me and Chris I was having this conversation earlier where I was telling them, we're at a point where the world is no longer accepting of the white supremacist power structure. We don't want it anymore. It doesn't fit anywhere. And this is the problem we're having. This is why a lot of people are feeling marginalized because of the way the system was built. And then there are people feeling marginalized because they feel like they are no longer important. But to make them important, all they have to do is very simply give up on this white supremacy ideology that they hold on to, because it doesn't fit anymore. And all these people that are screaming that they want this race war, and it's going to be a race war, and all these people trying to trigger this is the problem. There's never been a race war in this country. There's never going to be a race war. No. What the war is going to be is Americans versus bigots. You guys don't have the number to sustain it. Fighting for the right to be racist, fighting for the right to hate people because they're different, or because you don't like their skin, or you don't like their culture, or you don't like their beliefs, is stupid. There's not enough of you guys to sustain that fight. Because the rest of the world and the rest of the country is going to be fighting for American ideals. All men created equal. Truth, justice, and the American way for all Americans. That ideal, people will be willing to die for. Right? So this concept of holding on to this, oh, we got to keep the race pure and we got to blah, it's nonsense. I stress this so much. Get over the race bullshit, because it doesn't exist. It's fallacy. It's nonsense. The reality of it is, there's so much shit coming our way in the future, and we're going to have to survive as a species. It's not going to matter what your race is, what part of the planet you were born on. All these countries are man-made concepts. Yeah. From most centuries that we existed, a lot of countries didn't exist. We created them. We drew borders. Yeah. We named the dirt. We literally drew lines in the dirt and gave the dirt names, and then started calling ourselves citizens of the dirt. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. It's dumb. The shit that's coming down the pipeline for us, we're going to have to, in the very near future, we're going to have to survive very difficult strains of viruses that's coming our way. Climate change, fucking shit falling out of the fucking space and hitting the planet and changing there's so much shit that's coming our way. And here's the reality of it. Genetic diversity is key. So everybody that's born from different parts of the planet, if you're born in the Middle East, hook up with somebody that's born in the West. Get together and start making a stronger strain of human. Because this nonsense of keeping the race pure is the shit that's going to lead to the destruction of the human race. Literally. That shit is going to wipe us out.
What's kind of scary about the owls I told you about. I know Susan has watched neither. At some point, definitely check out the Blacklist. But it's just a side note. On one episode in the last season before it's on Netflix, they met this doctor. This doctor was kidnapping children, experimenting on children. And of course, the FBI gets involved. They find a doctor. They want to know why he's kidnapping children for. And he was breaking down from his point of view. He wasn't wrong. He had these 3 little girls that he was putting genetic traits into them as their babies, and he wanted to test them at 10 years old. He was testing them for heat, for salt water, and he was telling the one FBI agent, he goes, you don't understand what's happening. He goes, in terms of fresh water is not going to be an issue in 10, 15 years from now. He goes, I took this girl, and he was like, he had the 3 little girls, he gave them a fucking big ass cup of salt water. They had no salt water. The one girl fucking drank it, nothing but salt water. If any one of us drink a cup of salt water, we'll immediately throw that shit back up. She drank the entire cup of salt water, was fucking fine, because her kidneys could handle it based on her genetic diversity. He put them in this fucking sun lamp. It may seem cruel to the kids, but the one girl, she survived. She was, the 2 girls are sweating. She didn't have a fucking bead of sweat on her. She was able to, her body, handle temperatures that are 15 degrees hotter than the other 2 fucking girls. He was breaking down, in terms of the fucking future, our atmosphere, our climate's going to get hotter. We're going to have, he was just breaking down all the reasons why at babies he had to do this genetic testing for. It was a sound science argument. He said, you don't understand. You may think I'm fucking cruel. I'm saving our fucking species. He's like, you don't think this, but I am, because people are in fucking denial. We still have people that think the fucking planet is flat. People out there, people don't believe in global warming, and the science is showing you fucking dickheads. There is chunks of ice in Antarctica the size of New York City breaking off on a daily fucking basis. It's proven. New York City may not be our lifetimes. At some point, New York City is going to be underwater. It's simple as fucking that, guys. You can deny it all you got to. Hawaii eventually will be underwater. Whether it's going to be 100 years, 1,000 years, it's an eventuality.
You say that shit, and people will argue with you, but the reality of it is, this planet is forever changing and moving. Yes. Consider the fact that a few 100 million years ago, it was there. We lived on one giant continent.
Yeah.
Like, Pangea
proven
was
too.
one giant continent. And as time progressed, shit broke apart. The tectonic plates under the Earth's crust started to move. It separated continents. Like, the Earth is forever changing. Climate is going to change. This is the reality about climate. Whether we do something or not, it's still going to change. Yeah. That's just what cycles happen. This Earth has always went through cycles. It just so happens that at this current point in time, us as a species, we're speeding up the cycle. But inevitably, it's not going to matter. Things are going to change. And the only way we're going to survive the bullshit that's headed our way is to create a stronger breed of human. This nonsense that guys are talking about with, let's keep the race pure, no intermingling, no interbreeding, knock it off. There's no such thing there's no human on this planet that is a single strain of anything. It doesn't exist. No matter how white you think you are, I promise you're mixed with various strains of white. No matter how black you think you are mixed with various strains of black. Like the ethnicity differences on the African continent, like all Africans aren't the same. It's why there isn't one singular African country. Africa is a continent, and there's a bunch of different countries, and all those countries have different ethnic makeups and different ethnic backgrounds in each individual group of people. So they're very diverse. What the world needs to do is get over this hang-up they have of, I'm better than you because I'm this, and I'm better than you because I'm from here, and I'm better than you because I worship this guy. It's nonsense. It's all shit that we made up. None of it is real. The only real thing that we need to do is get over the nonsense. I wonder if people realize how insignificant we are as a species in the grand scheme of things. Like, Earth is literally a speck in the great universe. Anything could fucking throw us off course and destroy our way of life. The smallest change to our atmosphere. Like, our atmosphere would literally 10 degrees and like, our upper atmosphere will make a massive difference. Believe me when I tell you, this whole shit about race and like everybody uptight about the color of your skin, it's nonsense. Just get over it.
Hey, Al, just to go back to what you were saying, when you're saying that nobody's a pure strain of anything, I think I'm a pure strain of asshole. Just to let you know.
You're made from the several strains of asshole. You
you might throw up a little bit of sarcasm and douchebaggery in there, but, I'm definitely a pure strain of asshole. Let's already throw that out there. And in terms of mixing race, you know what? I wouldn't mind a Korean woman. Bring that ass, bring that slanted eyes ass here.
So you get you a Korean woman, make you some black and Korean babies, and tell your babies to get with some Mexicans, and tell your grandbabies to get with some white people.
Facts.
And tell your great grandbabies to get with some black people, and tell them to mix that gene pool up as much as possible.
Hell yeah. But there's one thing though. There's one thing. If that Korean woman don't know how to make stir fry, she got to go.
Be like, what do you no stir fry? Get the fuck out of my house.
Get the fuck out.
That's another weird stereotype too. Never got, because at some point we'll talk about all the funny and stupid and just whatever stereotypes. But like, where'd they get that stereotype where like Korean women had like, was it fucking sideways vaginas? Like it just, it was a stereotype.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that in terms of all Asian women. They said
they have sideways vaginas.
I had somebody I had somebody I work with ask me that question because there was a point in time where I was involved with this Chinese girl, right? And I had a grown adult human male say to me, "So is her vagina straight or sideways?" Yeah. And for a second, I thought he was joking. I started laughing. He was like, "No, seriously, is it?" I didn't know what to do with that question because I was like, I said, my response to him was, honestly, if I ever saw a sideways vagina, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Right? That's how I responded.
No bullshit.
But that was a legitimate question somebody asked me.
This is on a Mel website. It's melmagazine.com. This was published in January of 2020, 4 months ago. After 170 years, the sideways Asian vagina myth still won't go away. I've heard that as a kid. That like how they would say
like who the fuck even started that? Like what? How is that?
That opens up so many more positions during sex.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If I ever spread a girl's legs open and her vagina went sideways,
horizontal,
I'd be like, I wouldn't know what to do. First of all, let me say this: I wouldn't say a word about it because I'd be goddamn if I ever talk myself out of some vagina. But at the same time, what do you do in that situation? Like, What do you do? Like that's
a horizontal vagina. Jesus Christ!
It looks like a smile.
It's happy to see me.
What do you even do? What do you even do in that situation?
Holy fuck!
Like, where is her asshole at that point? Like, if her vagina inside, where's her asshole? Yeah. It's the weirdest shit. Like,
or it could be a frown.
Believe it when I tell you, a grown man, an adult male, asked me that question and was serious about it.
This girl,
I was like, "What?"
This is a big article. I'm not going to read all the article. You can guys check it out for yourself.
I can't.
But this woman named Alicia Tan, she said she was 14 when this boy. I was a freshman in high school. An older boy she had a crush on messaged her on AOL back then, and he asked her if she had a sideways pussy. She has Chinese and Cambodian descent, who was completely thrown by the question.
Ooh,
as a teenager who was still learning about her own body, receiving a message like this from a boy was a knock to her already fragile self-esteem. For a while, it was just this giant question mark that I was sort of too scared to answer. I have my guesses, the biggest one being that it had to do with my slanted eyes. And it's been the topic for fucking. It's been in movies. They've talked about movies, 1850s folklore. But yeah, it's just like, well, remember, I'm not sure if you guys remember the Bruce Lee story that was I forgot the actor who played. The guy who played Liu Kang in the first Mortal Kombat. But during one part of the film, Bruce Lee's his wife there, of course, her mother had a big issue with her dating a fucking Japanese man. But the cliche was, what do you want to have yellow babies? And that was a big thing. They would tell white women you can't mingle with Asian or Japanese men because your babies will come out yellow. That was a big thing in the fucking 30s, 40s, and 50s. Where yellow babies came from, I have no fucking idea. But like, it's just creepy. Like, where does this shit? Someone says your baby's gonna turn out yellow, like, and this was real shit. That's like,
makes me want to pull out a fucking crayon and just be like, shit. I'm a shade of yellow in that case. Fuck.
To what I was saying, so I'm gonna look up the yellow baby thing. Yeah, according to the National Organization for Albinism and Hypopigmentation, albinism is considered an inherited genetic condition that reduces the amount of melanin pigment formed in the skin, hair, and eyes, and it occurs in all racial and ethnic groups throughout the planet.
Yeah, it occurs in animals and plants as well. It's just one of them things that happens. It's just.
Oh man, that show was funny as hell. Holy fuck.
Stereotypes are fucking strange.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that is the first time I've ever heard that, and that is seriously the funniest shit I've never heard that before? I've never heard that a day in my life. That's why I laughed so hard, because I'm like, are you fucking serious?
I could believe you, because I was an adult the first time I heard that. I was a grown man the first time I heard that.
Never in my life have I ever heard that.
Sideways. Like, it just, I didn't, and I'm telling you that when that guy said that to me, I laughed. Because I thought it was a joke. I thought he was being funny. Because it doesn't make sense in any other context. Like, it has to be a joke. You can't be serious. Like, but he was. He was like, no, seriously. Like, I was like, what? I was like, bro, if I ever saw a sideways vagina, I promise you I would have no idea.
That's the funny part, is that growing up in this, anywhere in the world, that's it, with slang and stuff, like, let's say the term transgender, I heard it like 4 years ago, and like I Googled, like, where did this new term come up from? Because we live in New York, Apparently, no, transgender was created in like 1995 over in California. But before the internet got to be what it is right now, that's a problem. That's why I said I'm, for the most part, against slang, because slang in Boston or New York or anywhere, it's like said, a slang word may be cool to you or like acceptable. Another part of the country, it could be really fucking offensive. Or it could be just like said, I never heard this term before. Maybe in New York, you never heard the term, but this term could have been popular wherever. It could have been popular even other countries. So it said, like I was saying, I don't remember where I heard it from, but I remember just being up as a kid, and could have been around this area. Just, I'm a different generation than you. Just kids in my generation would always say Chinese people, they said sideways vaginas, they had yellow babies, just like this weird kind of fucking stereotypes. Like it's, it's like you ever heard?
I think the concept of yellow babies has more to do with their race than anything else. I think like they consider Asian people yellow people.
It seems like it just, there's so much shit to look up.
But I don't know. I don't know where the concept of their race being yellow came from. Like, I don't know what started that, but I think it refers to their skin.
That was some of the funniest shit I ever heard in my life. Holy fuck. I've never seen a sideways pussy in my life.
It doesn't exist. Ever. It can't exist unless it's a genetic defect. Like,
it says,
that means the clit would be at 3:00.
Or better yet, the possibility of two clits.
Shit, that'd be crazy.
You met a girl with two clits, you know how much fun that would be? Be like, yeah, I could get you off 1,000 times before you even fucking turned over.
This article says it's published in February of 2019, saying the Chinese were white until white men called them yellow. Europeans referred to East Asians as white until the end of the 18th century. But as the Chinese and Japanese resisted cultural assimilation, they darkened, both in Western eyes and their own. So they started calling them. The term yellow occasionally began to appear towards the end of the 18th century, and then really took hold of the Western imagination in the 19th century. But by the 17th century, the Chinese and Japanese were darkening in published texts, gradually losing their erstwhile whiteness when it became clear they would remain unwilling to participate in European systems of trade, religion, and international relations. Calling them white, in other words, was not based on simple perception either, and had less to do with pigmentation than their presumed level of civilization, culture, literacy, and obedience, particularly if they should become Christians. So, as usual, because you don't want to conform to our bullshit religion, you're now yellow. So,
all right, Susan, I have a question for you. You ready for this? Ready for this, Susan?
Christ.
Ready? All right, here comes the question. I got enough fireball in my system now, so now I'm going to ask the question. So, is yours sideways?
No.
what's everyone looking at her for?
I already knew that. I just wanted to ask.
Oh, Christ. Something Al said, I just happened to look up because we're talking funny shit. So I did look up the Luther burger, you fucking glutton. God
oh
damn.
Oh my God. Listen, I've never had one, and I didn't even know it was a thing. You know how I found out about that? You know the show Boondocks?
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, that's where I heard about it.
Yeah.
Then they were saying that it's a real burger, like it's a real thing.
It's a donut burger.
Yeah.
And it says one or more glazed donuts in place of the bun. And it's between 800 and 1,500 calories. And it says,
holy fuck.
According to legend, the burger was named for and was a favorite of singer, songwriter, and record producer Luther Vandross. The origin is mentioned in a January 2006 episode of the animated series The Boondocks. Yep. They call it the Itis, in which the character Robert Freeman creates a restaurant which serves the burger.
Best episode ever. If you have not seen the Boondocks, check it out. Look up the episode, the Itis.
I remember we
a lot
of times in prison, because I was, when Boondocks came out, I was still in jail, and every fucking black dude in there loved the Martin Luther King episode. They were fucking screaming. We came back because, and boy, right now it's
yeah.
Because again, so many people, was like Steve said, well, Martin Luther King, he didn't do it. And people are like, you know what the fuck that man, you will never in your lifetime accomplish a fraction of what Martin Luther King did without throwing a single punch. It's, but.
Yeah, he had, I mean, besides Gandhi, he's definitely one of the most, he is definitely the famous
he's an American holiday.
Protester.
He's American holiday. And the thing is, and people, and unfortunately sometimes, this is the course of history. Did he die? Yes. Did he have to give his life? He gave his life, but I mean, look what, I mean, this is the thing too. Again, people don't get this modernism of like the racism and stuff that goes on. I'm not saying things are perfect by any fucking means, but Jesus Christ, guys, look into like his generation, how things were. It's like people don't get how good fucking things in comparison. No, it's not perfect at all. But again, in comparison to like talking to your grandparents, your great grandparents, to the point again, but there was a time period you get onto a fucking bus, go ahead and try sitting on the front of the bus.
Well,
that wasn't that long ago, guys.
That's true. But another thing is, too, though, is just the fact that the people who have not been through things like this say that we live in such a post-racial society because they've never went through anything like this. They, it's that privilege of not going through it. You know what I'm saying? And like you, Chris, for example, you're not, you did years in jail for a marijuana charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody is afforded the same privileges as other people. It's the privileged that won't say that will fight you in a sense, not like physically fight you because they're pussy, but they'll like, social media fight you if you talk about, in a sense, white privilege. They'll social media fight you all the time when you say white privilege. Why do they get mad when you say white privilege? And it's because of the fact that it's how it's presented. It's, if you look at history, if you look at even today, if you look at a bunch of things, there was this guy that served 38 years in prison, and he's still in prison to this day, for an armed robbery of something that was worth $5. Brock Turner, because the judge said, he has such a bright future ahead of him, had multiple eyewitness statements raped somebody and only did 3 months in jail and appealed to not register as a sex offender.
Look up right now.
So look at the sort of privilege that's actually going on.
I'll definitely get into that in a moment because I talked to Jen about that yesterday. About the whole Jen had a rant on Facebook about white privilege, and I made and again, like I said, everybody here knows me and will know me on social media. Before I make an opinion, I look at both sides. It's like, even if I don't agree with your opinion or your view, I still want to see where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. And that's why I said I tried being the last one to say something because I want to hear everyone else's fucking views. But this is from CNN. Brock Turner released from jail after serving 3 months for sexual assault. So.
And they dropped it down from rape to sexual assault with multiple eyewitnesses saying,
who is Brock Turner?
This white dude. This from 2016.
College kid that raped a girl. Right? You know, the reason that sounds familiar to me is because they were comparing him to a black guy in their circumstances were almost identical. Yeah. Where they went out, they were accused of rape, both college kids. That black guy got a whole bunch of years in jail.
Yeah, it was 17 years.
Yeah.
I think it was 17.
And it's stuff like that keeps people screaming, white privilege, white privilege.
Yeah. Like I said, it's the people that never went through it. It's the people that never got stopped by police and said you fit the profile of a suspect.
It's not even that. Like I had there's this guy that used to work with us in my garage, and he's the kind of guy where he doesn't believe in white privilege because he had a run-in with the cops, and he didn't live like, you know, an uppity lifestyle of like luxury or whatever. But I'm telling him, I said, I understand. I get why you feel the way you feel, but this is the thing. Even if you have a criminal record, you still get to walk around without the cops looking at you for anything. You could, like, as a white man, you could have murdered somebody or robbed a bank or did whatever, and you still get to walk out into the world without ever worrying as if the cops are breathing down your neck. And, like, as a black man who has never been to jail, has never broken a law, has never done illegal shit, I still have to walk around knowing that at any given point in time, I could be jumped on and fucked up for the color of my skin if I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, and it's a weird feeling. Like, like when I say people have white privilege, I'm not saying that you didn't work for the shit you have, or you didn't have to, you know, put in hard time to get where you are or whatever. I'm saying you get to breeze through life not worrying about the shit I have to worry about. Like, and not because I'm doing some shit that warrants this kind of scrutiny. I'm not walking around planning to break the law. I'm not in a gang. I'm not doing illegal shit. I'm getting up every day, going to work, coming home, trying to pay my bills, take care of my family. That's it. That's all I do. But I still have to walk on eggshells because at any given point in time, if I'm anywhere and anything is happening and the police show up, I'm automatically a suspect. And no white person has to deal with that. Like, I know white people right now that have criminal records, that have been to jail, that still get to walk around not having to worry about the cops. Like, they could walk by cops right now. They never have to worry about, like, black people don't get that. Like, white people that have kids, you could buy your kids toy guns and you could let them play in the streets. They could run around with their friends. They never have to worry about if a cop is going to pull up, if a cop is going to be called on them because they're playing with toys, much less if this cop is going to show up and murder them for playing with those toys. But that's real in the black community. Like, black kids can't play outside with toy guns because not only will they get the cops called on them, it's very likely a cop will show up and kill them. That is what I mean when I say white privilege. You have the privilege to exist in this country without the fear of your life being in danger, even if you should have that fear. Even if you are a criminal, or even if you are doing illegal shit. Like, I remember I watched a comedian that told a story about him going out with his wife. He goes into the bathroom, he sparks up a blunt, and when he's leaving the bathroom, one of the attendants came over and like, oh my God, somebody's smoking drugs in here. And he said he kind of panicked for 2 seconds, and then he realized, I'm a white guy in a suit. He said his response to that situation was like, my word, what are they doing these days? And he walked away, knowing that he never has to, like, if a black man in that same situation, even if he's not actually the one smoking in the bathroom, if he's around the bathroom, he's getting blamed. He's very likely to have the cops called on him, even if he's not involved. Get
kicked out of the restaurant.
Yeah, he'll get kicked out. He'll be asked to leave, even if he's not the one doing anything. And that's what I mean when I say white privilege. White privilege exists. I'm not saying that every white person is aware of their white privilege or takes advantage of it, but it does exist and they do have access to it. If at any point in time they become aware of it, they can use it to their advantage. The person who has like the highest understanding of white privilege and use it in their everyday life are this new wave of women that we refer to as Karens. They've always existed, and they've always used their white privilege.
Yeah.
Right? It's only like in this modern era where they're getting called out for the bullshit that you get to see it at point blank.
Like that woman in Central Park that called the cops on that black guy because the black guy said, "Oh, hey, you should probably put a leash on the dog."
Oh, I showed that to Mom.
And literally sat there. She called the cops on him, saying, "He's threatening my life."
Hysterics. Did you hear the hysterics in her voice?
Yeah.
And she told him, "I'm going to call the cops, and I'm going to tell them an African American man is threatening my life." Yeah. And she called the cops, and she put the hysterics. Oh my God! There's an African American man here, and he's threatening me and my dog. Like that's practiced. That's learned and then practiced to flawlessness. And she understood her white privilege. Yep. And a lot of white women understand it as well. The good thing is, not all white women are assholes enough to want to ruin your life simply because they want to have some kind of authority over you. Like they're bred and ingrained to believe like I should have authority over you. You have to answer my questions when I stop you. If I want to know where you live in this building, you have to tell me. If I want to know what you're doing on this block, you have to tell me. If I want to know what you're doing in this park that's made for the public, you have to tell me. And if you don't tell me, I will call the cops. And they understand that when the cops are called, the cops are only called for the reasons of 1, killing this person, or 2, arresting this person. Yeah. They don't call the cops because they want the cops to come over and give you a stern talking to. At the moment they get on a phone and call the cops, they want you either arrested or dead. They want you punished for existing. And it's a crazy concept. And that is what I mean when I say white privilege. It exists. I don't care what anybody wants to tell me, it exists. I could think of all the examples of where a white person, and I'm not saying, I don't want to even get the message out there that like all white people are like this or whatever. There are white people out there that understand how dangerous it is to just put somebody's life at risk just because you have an attitude. Yeah. There are white people out there that, and you know what's the thing that I think is the most beautiful is that like there's a lot of people that's arguing about not mixing the races. But whenever I see there's a black man not a black man, a white man or a white woman that has an interracial child, they have a whole new understanding of what it's like when a black person is in danger for no reason. Because now they have a child that they care about, that they have to worry about somebody doing some shit to because of the color of their skin. For no other reason. Not that this person did anything wrong, not that this person is violating any laws, not that this person is disruptive, just simply this person exists as a different skin tone than you. Yeah. And you don't like it. And now you want this person punished.
Well, another funny story is there was this white girl that was sitting there talking about Black Lives. She was at one of the protests for Black Lives Matter, and she held up a black dildo. And she said, "I love every inch of this."
Not mad at that. I saw something today on TikTok that impressed me in a really great way. Like, there's this guy. These people were organizing a protest, and for some reason they didn't go through with the protest because I guess, they were just afraid. It was like, if we do it, we're going to get a lot of backlash. There was a single guy, one guy, he was a little old white guy, on the street corner by his motherfucking self protesting. Wow. He had 2 signs in his hand. One sign that says Black Lives Matter, and I couldn't read the words on the other side. He was by himself on the street corner. I was like, this guy, somebody needs to get out here and protect this guy. He's about to get fucked up by a bunch of fucking evil motherfuckers for no reason other than they don't like what he's saying.
I pulled up the article talking about this. Is Oklahoma News. It says, "Tale of 2 suspects. Critics draw comparison between 2 high-profile sexual assault cases." And Brock Turner, he was sentenced to 6 months in county jail and probation for sexually assaulting an unconscious woman. It says, however, though, the other prosecutor was Corey Batley, a former Vanderbilt University football player, was convicted of aggravated rape when he sexually assaulted an unconscious woman in a dorm room on campus. While Beatty hasn't been sentenced yet, the aggravated rape conviction alone carries a 15 to 25 year prison sentence. And it says, Corey Beatty's minimum possible prison sentence, though, is actually 3,000% longer than what Brock Turner was given for a comparable crime, according to the New York Daily News. So,
you know, something I want you to look up, see if you could find it. There's a kid. I think he's a teenager, but I'm not sure. That had I think he committed murder. I can't remember the detail. I think he had murdered somebody. And you know, like when you're in jail, you send letters or you make phone calls. They monitor your calls.
I know.
he made a call. He was talking to somebody in his family. He said, I'm a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. There's no way they're going to convict me, or something along those lines. Wow. And that got him convicted because that was recorded on the call. Like that was something that was another high profile thing that made the news.
I'll look it
like
up.
That is the epitome of privilege, where you know that you are going to get away with it because you're white with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah, I think, like I said, this is a problem I've had over social media for the past couple of years, but we've had this talk back in the garage together. Like you said this before, that like you're not saying that white privilege, it's not every single person uses it or experiences it. And this is, I think, sometimes people who refuse to have civil conversations because this is the era we live in. Nobody wants to talk down and have these civil conversations. And listen, we're not saying that you yourself are abusing your white privilege or that doesn't exist, but like sometimes it is out there. But there's something I'll get into later in the podcast, which I spoke to with Jen's on her Facebook page. I personally, as somebody who is not black by any means, I got prison fucking time. And I think this is the extremes where it's like, I make jokes all the time and it's a joke in context. I'll say, guys, listen, my white privilege, it's not like I was born and the government was like, well, hey, Mrs. Edwards, here's a check for $1 million. Now you're tax exempt. That's the extreme of like, I think people a lot of times, often to what you were saying, Al, very few people, they sit down and they explain it in detail. They talk the way you're talking. People just automatically, like anything too, we're taking the extremes. They're making out to be like white people now are fucking immune. They're bulletproof. They're fucking immune to taxes. They're fucking immune. They get every freaking job handed to them. They don't go to fucking college, which is so unfucking true. There's plenty of people out there of all races and genders and ages that bust their fucking ass. But like anything too, people, they don't sit there and talk about privilege in the sense that like they misconstrue what it really is. So. But
so Regis, your question was answered tremendously, and over the course of this podcast, your answer was definitely answered tremendously over that, and I hope that answers your question, and you got some insight from not only me but from my friends as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more in a few minutes.
You good?
Susan Elliott just being quiet, just listening, because you and Al are saying a lot of shit.
I mean, I know you're thinking about your, biracial boyfriend. But, you just...
No, I'm really thinking of how I have to take a piss, and I didn't want to get up all out speaking.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I do have a question before you take a piss, though. Just one question.
Jesus
one
Christ.
Question. So now that we established that Mr. Longhorn is biracial, do you use a white dildo or a black dildo when you jerk off?
Goodbye.
Oh God, he's your friend.
He's your friend.
Unfortunately. I'll wait till you get back.
Hey, that's a legitimate question. You should still answer that.
Actually, Sue, before I leave, I'll get into this when you come back too. But have you ever had turkey testicles?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so
she uses a black dildo, by the way.
So I apparently heard about, because I thought about Al when the story came up too, about, because I know the kind of guy Al is, where Al won't turn down any kind of food. But have you ever heard of the Turkey Testicle Festival?
I've never heard of it.
Okay, so
I will definitely try some turkey.
Exactly. So
we'll look that shit up right. Saute that bitch down. You hit that shit with some curry. Sign me up.
So this has been going on, and it's a fall festival, and this is according to onlyinyourstate.com. But this is in Illinois. For 36 years, every fall during Thanksgiving, they have a festival called the Turkey Testicle Festival, and it's exactly what it fucking says it is. So. What they do is they start at 11 a.m., last until midnight, with live music scheduled throughout the day. Only guests who are 21 years or older will be permitted, and VIP tickets are also available in case you want to skip the lines for $20 and get as much turkey balls as you want. And it's exactly how it says this. They don't call it the Turkey Testicle Festival for nothing. Guests look forward to gorging themselves on these deep-fried delights every year. If it helps, just try not to think about where it came from. They give you styrofoam cups full of deep fried turkey balls.
Hey, Elliot, does that sound appetizing to you?
No.
I can tell you this. This is a fact. I've eaten bull testicles before.
I've heard about them.
Bull testicles. They cut them off the bull.
Yeah.
They mince them up. You know, you could ground them, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Shit is delicious. Shit is delicious. I've had that shit before multiple times.
I'm so immature, I swear to God. I'm so immature.
There's one thing that I don't eat that people eat all the time.
And that is ass.
It's tongue. There's like a goat tongue or cow tongue.
Yeah.
People actually eat it. And I've never had it, so I don't know if it's how it tastes, if it's good or bad. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is about a tongue. I just can't bring myself to.
Just like a face meat sandwich.
Yo, there's people that I know in my life, I've experienced people making monkey soup where they actually kill monkeys and make soup. And these guys will cook the monkey's head and put it in the stew. And no matter how the fuck you put it in, for some reason, it always ends up face up.
Oh God!
So it's like, imagine eating a bowl of soup and it's like
you see a monkey face.
Yeah, they do it with monkeys. They do it with goats.
I just Googled that shit. I'm looking at this shit right now, Junior, on this iMac. This is monkey. Holy Christ!
And for the most part, it's delicious. But I don't want a face staring at me.
You feel guilty pouring a cup of soup, like, my bad, bro.
Like, Bobo, I didn't mean to do you like this, but you are tasty.
If you guys Google monkey soup, the first 20 images is a bowl of fucking soup with monkey staring at you like. Says, do Brazilians eat monkey soup? Brazil. In some communities along the northeastern part of the country indulge in monkey meat consumption as a delicacy. Wow. So yeah, monkey soup is a pretty big thing in
there's also
Brazil.
like if you ever have goat soup, like
I love goat.
They have,
Curry
like,
goat.
Google
God.
goat head soup, you'll see.
Give me a second.
It's the same thing where it's like the goat head. A lot of times, if you get it from like Jamaicans, they chop it up, so you don't really get to see the whole thing. But some people will just cook the whole face.
At least I ain't the fucking face staring at you.
food.
This actually has pictures of just soup with meat chunks in it.
too.
But goat's head soup.
Yeah.
This is actually this is the 11th British and 13th American. Well, that's actually a fuck. There's an album. Sorry, called Goathead Soup. Of course there is.
Hey Elliot, before he gets to the explanation, what's your favorite food?
Lasagna.
Do you like lasagna? Okay, all right.
This is Jamaican. According to
I thought you was gonna say something
JamaicanCookery.com.
else.
Yeah.
Traditional and modern Jamaican home cooking news, and this is a goat. Yep.
It's something that's cooked. It's cooked all through the Caribbean, but it's more like up here. More people know about Jamaican cuisine. So, but I'm telling you, it's delicious. But you got to get over a face looking at you.
I don't give a fuck. I'm pouring that. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to fill my bowl up, bitch. Get out of my way. I'll smack the shit out the head every time I go in there. He'll be like,
Let me get this out the way because I wish Susan probably hear this, but I wanted last podcast. So you guys, I'm sure by now, but her actual name, but Al, do you remember do you know the rapper? Oh God, called Bad Barbie.
Oh,
Bad Baby. That's
Bad Baby, yes.
Danielle Bergoli.
Yeah, so everyone's infamous Dr. Phil trailer.
catch me outside. How about
Yeah,
that?
the trailer trash fucking cunt that she is. Christ.
Called the trailer trash.
Fucking man,
She
she's
is.
if she got hit by a truck, I would pay good money to watch it in slow motion. I really would, like, just
Yo, Elliot, you're that's a side comment. He was like, she is. Why are you so angry toward her?
I'm not angry. I watched that episode and I was like, okay, there's a
I'm
must
angry.
see. And I was like, this is one of those kids you see on Beyond Scared Straight where, if nobody puts a rein on them, they're going to rob someone or most likely even stab them, and no one's going to think twice until it happens. Fucking crazy.
When that shit first happened, I was like,
person.
thank God she's the same age as my sister, because at the time period, I can't be with a 13-year-old. I would have bought her a fucking car for her 16th birthday to kick the ever-living shit out of this fucking bitch. Like,
Well, she can't fight because there's numerous videos on the internet that she gets her ass beat.
exactly.
My problem with her is
Catch me outside, how about
she's
that?
a slap in the face to every fucking hardworking American.
Exactly.
But as usual,
That's my issue.
her net worth is the four of us combined times two. So thanks, Dr. Phil.
I mean, and then you look at that girl Vicky, who's even worse than fucking
Well,
Bad
Vicky
Barbie.
chick that beat her
Whoa
up.
Vicky that beat her up.
Well,
Like,
the good news is, in
Is
like
that
Game,
that crazy blonde white chick who?
yeah,
That was fake.
That can speak. That can speak about 3 words clearly.
She speaks Ebonics worse than any person in the hood that you've met.
That was actually.
Did you
say she speaks Ebonics?
Yeah, that's what it is. Like she speaks.
how do you
that shit
fail
worse
Ebonics?
Like she speaks it worse than any hood person you've ever met.
You failed
go
the
to
fake language.
You go into the hood and you meet somebody that speaks with that hood dialect, and you listen to them, and you're like, all right, I can tell you're from the hood. Yeah. And then you listen to her, and it just sounds like,
yo, you belong in the asylum. Like, what the fuck is you doing out in the open? She's like, that. Like, what the fuck? What did you just say? You literally sound like a deaf person trying to talk out loud.
Like anything, I always feel when I make these comments, because I'm an angry person, not as much as Junior, but like when I piss somebody off too, you always get that one dickhead on Facebook where it's like, I just said, jokingly plus serious too. It's like, unfortunately I made a pool with some friends hoping that this fucking bitch would have died of an overdose. Sadly, she's still alive. And the guy's like, people like you shouldn't joke about shit like that, because how would you like it if I made a joke about you dying of the coronavirus? That'd be funny, wouldn't it? And I'm like, yeah. Then I would come see you and cough in your fucking face. But so anyway, she's of course during the whole George Floyd issue, makes it about herself. Now she's checking into rehab because she's had a very hard life, and she needs.
Oh my god!
Of course, and she's a 17-year-old quote-unquote rapper, and because she has issues with a combination of fucking things, that she has to go into rehab for pills and mental issues. And one of her most famous songs, I'm looking on YouTube right now, it's literally called Bad Bobby Hi Bitch, and she spells bitch B-I-C-H, because apparently T's don't exist in her world. Also, and the song is called...
Yo, Al, why did you make that face?
It disgusts me.
Yeah.
He was like, he looked to his right like, damn, bitch, and really stupid.
So the song
that gets under my skin.
The song is called What You Know, and I'll spell this for you because I don't speak this kind of fucking retard. It's WHACHU. What You Know. Oh Christ! So unfortunately, yeah, she's going into rehab, and she's gonna live. But she's 17 now. How it's gonna be 19 the latest for she goes into porn. We all know that.
Here's the thing: you forgot to mention a couple of things. She's 17. She just got into rehab. She's reading her first book. So she's understanding how to spell certain things.
But supposedly her net worth is about $1 million fucking dollars, which is like, yeah, thanks internet, because Dr. Phil got this fucking piece of human trash. Famous because by saying, "Cast me outside." How about that? Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Dr. Phil got so many people.
Somebody hit her with a fucking shovel, please. Like,
it's okay. Here's another funny word, bay. It actually
don't
means...
even fucking start out.
No, you actually know
sakes,
it means shit.
In Swedish.
Yeah. So every time someone's like, "Hey, babe," I'm like, they just called you a piece of shit. No, they didn't. I'm like, yes, the original definition of that is shit. I don't care what you're before.
You're my shit,
else.
babe.
No,
like...
it means shit. You're being called shit.
Why did she say that word so hard? She's like, shit. I can't.
It's true though.
I worked at Walmart, and we were selling T-shirts
that said "Bay."
Yeah,
you fucking
and
asshole.
I would get groups of college kids, and you'd see these stupid, drunk or stoned, tiny little white girls. Oh, hey, babe, look what I found. I'm like, it means shit. Like, I'm your babe. I'm like, you mean you're his shit? Oh, babe. I'm like, God, you're so stupid.
Like, you're so dumb. I wouldn't drop a load in you. Like,
yes.
fuck.
There was this thing on YouTube with this guy.
Stupid.
He's an Asian guy, and he used to look at the pictures of tattoos that people got in Asian writing and Chinese writing or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
and
God.
they didn't know what it meant, and they thought it meant like something like sky or hope or love, and it would mean shit like dish soap, like garbage, outside. It would be stupid shit, and they wouldn't know.
That happened to Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus had a Chinese tattoo, was fucked all up and shit, and she messed up her entire tattoo, and everyone's making fun of her. Like,
I actually knew someone. I knew someone who got a tattoo on the side of their neck, and they're like, "This means forever love," and I was like, okay, so I took a picture of it and actually sent it to someone who spoke the language. It means it means a piece of shit. And I was like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, this person who actually speaks the language and can write the calligraphy. I'm like, yeah, it means a piece of shit.
So, this was in California. A man broke into a bank. He broke into a bank about 3:30 in the morning. The cops showed up after a burglary alarm sounded. They asked the surveillance company if they could find out where this guy was. And it says they found out where he was.
How dare you come down here with a bear?
I know.
Not enough for two of us.
And that pizza, too.
Yeah, that's stairs, though. That's Al's kryptonite.
That's my arch nemesis.
He said stairs is my arch nemesis. It's my Doc Ock to Spider-Man.
Doc Ock.
That's the bane to my Batman.
So the police responded to this broken window near the bank's drive-through ATM. 6 officers with their guns drawn, they were nervous, used a megaphone to tell the man to come out to surrender, come outside. When no one responded, the officers knocked down the bank's front door and sent in a canine unit dog first, and then before entering the building, retrieving a suspect. They found the suspect inside the break room of the bank. What was he doing? He was microwaving Hot Pockets.
What the fuck?
And the news said, was it worth it? He goes, yeah, it was worth it. He goes, a Hot Pocket? Hell yes. So he broke into a bank at 3:30 in the morning, and he didn't go after the money. He went for the microwave.
Listen, his priorities were on point. He had his Hot Pockets, his microwave is home fucking up. He was like, I was in the bank earlier. I seen a microwave in there. I'm going to go heat my shit up. He went to the bank and he cooked his shit.
So,
all right?
I'm not sure what kind of jail time that gets you, but like you're arrested because he's like, them Hot Pockets, them shits were cold, so they got to be heated up somewhere. So.
When it comes to breaking and entering at a bank, that's federal time, bro. Them Hot Pockets was serious business. I'm willing to risk it all over these Hot Pockets.
They must have had the flaky crust.
That man was fucking out. I was like, I'll buy this man a beer.
I'm sitting down with him one of these days, like, hold this
visit him in jail and give him a Bud Light.
Christ almighty. So, yeah, we've talked about, because I'm a fan of The Critical Drinker, and this happened to pop up because of, he did a recent review of the Ghostbusters 2016. Now, we all know coming out next year is the official Ghostbusters 3, which actually is directed by Jason Reitman, which is Paul Reitman's son. But we all, even me and Sue, went to go see Ghostbusters 2016. I didn't hate it as much as some people did, even though it was a total fucking train wreck. Because on paper, it seemed like it was going to work. You got fucking Melissa McCarthy, you have Kate McKinnon, you have Chris Hemsworth, the director. Everything was fantastic. Bombed at the fucking box office, of course. And like anything, first they blamed it, on males. Then males wasn't enough, they had to be straight white males. Then it was because we're racist. And so now Paul Feig has come out, the director. Dude, it's been 4 fucking years since your movie has come out, and you're still throwing the fucking blame game. Now he's saying 4 years later that Ghostbusters failed because of the anti-Hillary Clinton movement, because there's so many men out there, who hated Hillary Clinton. They didn't want to go see Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters was led by women.
I didn't see it because I didn't even ask about it.
But this is the director. It's been 4 fucking years since your movie bombed at the box office. And now, after 4 years, guys, it was because men hate Hillary Clinton. Because of Hillary Clinton, my movie bombed. Let it fucking go.
This goes back to something I said earlier. You can't even be mad at women when they say stupid shit like that. And you can't say, this is a woman just reaching. Because men do this retarded shit too. This guy is like that. I mean, that's a stretch. Like, how far is he reaching to make that? Well, guys didn't like Hillary Clinton, so your movie failed? I mean, my back hurts. It's just that much of a stretch. Like, I can't
remember,
understand.
While he's reaching, he's definitely reaching. He's reaching past the balls and all the way to the taint.
Because we have 4, in fact, me and Sue, we went to see Ghostbusters together, right?
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Wasn't that the best movie of 2016? Wasn't it the funniest fucking film of all time? Wasn't it? Didn't you and me go see that film 5 fucking times? Because
that shit was terrible.
Because as a female, that was your favorite movie of the year, had I remembered correctly. Because women were involved. Susan just rah that fucking film. Like,
let me be frank here.
Fuck out of here.
I didn't dislike Ghostbusters, but at the same point in time, him using that bullshit freaking like comment is the stupidest thing in the world. Because as someone who despises Hillary Clinton, I still went and saw Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I did
so
too.
Your accusation, sir,
cause,
is false.
Because on paper, I love Kate McKinnon. Because I said, I told Elliot this too. Kate
like
McKinnon
amazing.
is my favorite part of SNL over the past fucking 5 years. She is a fucking national treasure. Melissa McCarthy, she's been up and down. She owned Bridesmaids. She's really fucking good. Said Leslie Jones, but Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth was his Thor. You know, so I went to go see it because on paper it fucking sucked. But his exact
the shitty thing about it is the minute they start playing the blame game, even if I didn't go see it in the theater, I might have fucked around and bought a DVD or downloaded it for my Xbox or whatever. But the minute you start saying, "Oh, men didn't support the blah blah," now fuck your movie. Yeah, you know, that's how I feel.
Exactly.
Like now, fuck your movie. Like,
I'll read you. This is Paul Feig, director's exact quotes, which I'll get to in a second. Josh Trank. He said, some really brilliant author or researcher or sociologist needs to write a book about 2016 and how intertwined our film was with Hillary Clinton and the anti-Hillary movement. It was just this year where everyone went to a boiling point. I don't know if it was having an African-American president for 8 years that just tied them up, but they were just ready to explode. By the time 2015 came around when I announced this movie, it's just started. It's crazy how people go nuts about women trying to be in power or trying to be in positions they weren't normally in. It was an ugly, ugly year. The top comment on this website said, "No, Paul, your movie was shit."
It's just that simple. It was a bad movie.
See,
like if it was a great movie,
Someone's
you
like,
wouldn't even have to sell it. It'd sell itself.
He said, "Paul, you are the poor man's Judd Apatow." It's like it just, of course, the comments are just tearing this motherfucker apart. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like
I feel bad because I wanted to vote for Hillary in 2016. My point of view has changed because of Cher, Bette Midler, Kathy Griffin. I think just seeing how utterly fucking insane Bette Midler talking about how the soldiers need to shiv Donald Trump. Yeah. People talking about murdering his son, go to his school and put holes in him. I'm like, wow, fuck you people. Cher saying that Bubba from next door needs to rape Trump. I'm like, wow, and then Kathy Griffin, like, here's his severed head. I'm like, I'm no longer a Democrat. You people have scared me away with how utterly insane you all have gotten. I was like, thank you. I'm moving my chair over here. And this just furthermore proves it. It has nothing to do with Hillary. It's simply, I never asked for an all-female one. You know what? If him and the few people never opened their mouth, you people. What do you mean, you people?
Yeah.
I was like, I would have seen it. Like Al said, I would have bought a DVD. I would have paid for it on pay-per-view. And other people are like, you going to watch this? No. Why? Because all these little crybabies, because it wasn't the biggest success, and because, unfortunately, I was born with a penis, it's my fault. I'm like, I'm not going to waste a couple of hours of my time. I was like, I'm going to go watch anime because it seemed fucking better.
I just seen today before we started recording this podcast, Josh Trank, if you don't know Josh Trank's name, he directed the $1 billion movie of the Fantastic Four film that came out a couple years ago. Yeah. You know, the one that did that just set the world on fire with the Black Johnny Storm and stuff and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, now again, this has been 5 years now since Fantastic, they call it Fantastic Four Stick because it's so fucking forced. According to Josh Trank, the reason, of course, why it failed for is because he initially, what he wanted Sue Storm. He wanted Sue Storm to be black just like her brother. Had they had a black woman play Sue Storm, well, that would just change the entire fucking movie then. That would have made that $1 billion film if Sue Storm was black. That was the major fucking factor. That the bombing of that fucking film was Sue Storm was unfortunately played by a white woman.
I got a really intelligent response to that movie. Now, I'm the kind of person, if you have a movie where you're portraying teenagers and all that, you got to tread carefully because it could get mixed up. It can look a little crazy. Stranger Things, unfortunately, bad opinion,
I love it.
I did not understand it. It was 3 seasons of the same thing, puberty and all that. I went through that. I hated it.
That never-ending story, though.
But you give these people portraying young adults these superpowers, you got to play it right. From the trailers I saw, it looked like a bunch of fucking idiots. They're in chairs. I'm going up and down. It's like, my God, you're a fucking superhero. And this is what I get. Oh, and then the comment section. Oh, you people just mad because he's black. I'm like, dude, this guy's a great actor. Why does it have to...
Michael B. Jordan was Johnny Storm.
And... it's just all this, the trailer looks stupid. I didn't understand. I'm like,
bad.
Is that rock dude naked? Is his rocky balls just hanging out there? And it did not look good. It looked like it was meant for idiots.
This is Hollywood for you. It's like every time we fucking fail, it's because of insert. It's like, guys, at least like Tim Miller with the last Terminator. I went to go see Terminator Dark Fate because I'm still a fan of Terminator. Love Arnold. He brought Sarah Connor back. Yes, it was a terrible fucking film. But at least Tim Miller, who directed the film, he goes, you know what, guys? He came out and flat said, he goes, you know what? I made a fucking bad movie. I'll admit too, I could have directed a better fucking film. At least, I respect him for fucking owning up to it, man. Sometimes every director or actor or writer says, you know what, guys, sometimes we fuck up. You know, it's like, stop saying because Leslie Jones, who was in Ghostbusters, it's because white people hate black people. Leslie, you've heard the name Ernie Hudson, right? You know Ernie Hudson was in Ghostbusters 1 and 2? He's not Caucasian.
He fit in so well, though.
Oh, fuck.
He's like, do you believe in ghosts? Pay me enough, I'll believe in anything you want. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how many times was I looking for a job?
Winston,
and they're like, will you clean the floor? Will you do this? Yeah. If you pay me enough, shit, yeah, I'll scrub the bathroom floor, yeah.
She came out months ago and she was on Howard Stern show talking about, and everyone here can attest to this, well, Netflix is... No, I had to shop my special to different companies. I eventually went to Netflix. However, I am upset with Netflix. Why for it, Leslie? Because Netflix isn't paying me as much money as the white comedians because they don't like black people. Everyone's like, did you see what Dave Chappelle just got fucking paid for his 3 comedy specials? Did you see what Kevin Hart got paid? Did you see what fucking Chris Rock got paid? Are you fucking serious, Leslie?
You know who started that? You know who started that, right? Fucking
Amy Schumer?
No. What's her name there? Oh God, I forgot her name. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Monique.
Yeah. So Leslie Jones came out and said because Netflix doesn't like black comedians, they didn't pay her as much money as they paid the other white comedians. Everyone's like, you do realize that they paid any comedian past 3 years. Dave Chappelle is the highest fucking comedian on Netflix. Why? Maybe because he's Dave fucking Chappelle?
That's the thing. They don't understand that.
Christ.
You'll get paid according to what they think you'll draw in. Leslie Jones is not a lot of people's cup of tea. Like, I've known her name for years. I've watched one of her comedy stand-ups. I've seen her on SNL. She's not my brand of comedy. I remember years ago when she was on that Comic View that played on BET. She's not my, like, her brand of comedy isn't
it's not mine.
And like a lot of people just in general don't like her as a comedian. Now that doesn't mean she deserves to fail or she doesn't deserve opportunities. Just understand that comedy is subjective and everybody isn't going to like the brand of comedy you bring. Some people are going to think you're unfunny while other people are going to think you're fucking hilarious. So she can't, like her saying, oh, they don't want to pay me because I'm black. They don't think you're going to pull in the kind of views that Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart is going to pull in. Like, they'll throw, I'm willing to bet they'll throw a shitload at Eddie Murphy because just for his name, people are going to tune in.
People understand, too, for them, because supposedly Eddie Murphy, who knows how true it is, Eddie Murphy's making, after Dolomite, making this massive comeback. Supposedly, they bought, right now, you can watch Eddie Murphy Raw on Netflix, and for Dolomite and for his upcoming special, they gave Eddie Murphy like $90 fucking million. You know why? Because he's Eddie fucking Murphy.
Everybody's going to tune in. As soon as his special hits Netflix, the entire nation is going to watch.
Shit, like what? When Eddie Murphy hit SNL, the second I was watching that shit live. I don't watch SNL. I mostly watch SNL on Hulu. Like after watching Eddie Murphy was on SNL for the first time in 30 fucking years, I was laughing he did that Sonic the Hedgehog sketch. He did like fucking the Gumby sketch. Come on, it's like it's Eddie fucking. But it's a point. And this is the era we live in, Leslie. It's like it's And people, probably her fans, they'll probably read this bullshit too. Oh, well, Netflix hates black people. Why?
Monique started that because Monique was mad at what Amy Schumer was making, and she was like, Netflix tried to lowball me. And I'm like, everybody that looked at it was like, yo, Amy Schumer was just coming off of a career high. She had like 3 movies in theater.
She did.
Her stand-up was killing across the nation. She was going to be a draw, so they paid her good money. Here comes Monique, out of retirement, basically. No movies in circulation. She hasn't really been doing stand-up, but she wants to come in and gets paid. She wants to get paid off of past actions. She's like, oh, well, I won a Grammy, whatever award she won, and I was in all these shows or whatever. It's like, yeah, we loved you in the 90s and early 2000s. Exactly. You were killing, but nobody's heard from you in a decade. Like, and now you want to walk in and get paid top dollar because your name is Monique. Okay, we get it. You did some shit back in the day. These people are doing shit right now.
Exactly.
It's who's gonna pull the people in. Like let's be honest. Monique doesn't stand up. People might watch. They might not watch.
Yeah.
I'll tune in on Monique. But that doesn't guarantee that she's going to be a draw like Dave Chappelle.
Exactly.
If Dave Chappelle doesn't stand up, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody. Yeah. Even the people that fucking hate Dave Chappelle still tune in and watch so they could critique his shit later.
Exactly.
Like, he's going to pull a draw. So, of course, he's going to get paid. Chris Rock is going to get good money because he's going to be a draw. Exactly. Kevin Hart is definitely going to be a draw. Yep. So those people are going to make top dollars. Amy Schumer was in the middle of her career being on the upward spiral, so of course they're going to pay her money. Like she was hitting. She had two or three hit movies in theaters, and she was touring the fucking country, and she was doing good.
She scares me.
Blue collar losers are going to get paid on Netflix too. We're going to go on Netflix to get paid.
This is the bullshit I fucking hate.
I don't know. We might have to get rid of you and Al if Leslie Jones is correct. I mean, I might get halfway through the door. They're like, this half is lighter than that half. Let's cut him down the middle and keep this part.
I hate this fucking
Yo, Elliot, I think you're more angry than me.
I'm not angry. I constantly hate that the low intelligent argument that they feed into people is color. Look, I don't like Leslie. I don't think she's funny. I've seen her Saturday Night Live skits. There may have been a couple, but can you please stop yelling at me?
Yeah, her main appeal is screaming and being loud. Like in Ghostbusters, she's just loud. Every line, she just yells. She just yells the entire film. It's just like
Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon.
Christ compels.
Yeah. Kate McKinnon is better than all 3 of them put together.
She is.
Have you seen everything she can do? She can mimic people damn near perfectly. Her version of Pennywise the Clown, I was laughing so hard I nearly pissed myself.
But
she's a comical genius, but you always hear about that weird chick and Melissa McCarthy. I'm like, I don't find them funny.
No, Melissa McCarthy was my favorite. She's hands down my favorite.
To me, he said she's up and down, but watch Bridesmaid. I watch Bridesmaids in fucking prison. Melissa McCarthy. Well, Spy, I feel like Statham did more of that than.
Yeah,
but
it
was still good though.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but overall, but to me, Bridesmaids was fucking her breakout. Like I said, she owned that fucking that's her film. She's the breakout character in the film. But again, it's just the point of like this is the age we live in. Well, I'm a fucking failure, so it's not because I'm not unfunny or I'm the fucking problem. It's you all are the fucking problem.
It's I love Kill Bill, Atomic Blonde, and their female led.
Kill Bill was freaking hilarious.
Atomic Blonde was my shit.
Atomic Blonde was my shit. I actually loved that movie when it came out. I wasn't
in love with the entirety of Kill Bill. There were moments where I was like, "This is like Kill Bill is one of the things that was iconic." But I promise you, I'd never watch it again. There were moments throughout the show where I was like in the fight scene with what's her face, their main character, and Lucy Liu, like that was my shit. Like that whole entire scene where she was fucking chopping off arms. She's like, this arm is not my arm. Like, like that shit to me was dope. Like,
I did last year because up in Rigo and County Center, they have RPX. They have their RPX showing. So Christian, before his time, Kill Bill came out, so he didn't see that in theaters. So then he had $5 to see RPX Kill Bill, and I'll tell you what, they took my 12-year-old to see Kill Bill, and whatever, he's 12, but like seeing Kill Bill and RPX, that fucking fight scene, holy Christ, like that was the choreography. Uma Thurman had to train for that shit. Like I said, Lucy Liu, everybody involved. We watched Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2 back to back, and it's like, God damn, that is some fucking choreography. Like,
and that's female led. So when they sit there, their arguments are so empty. when they sit there and say like, "Well, we don't like female-led movies." I'm like, the new Charlie's Angels is so stupid. Like it's stupid as fuck. Like the punches were fucking fake as shit.
Well, again, look at the box office success of Wonder Woman. Whether you like it or hate it and stuff too.
No, I love Wonder Woman.
It doesn't do 800 million when it's only girls seeing it. It's like Wonder Woman was a success. Harley Quinn was a fucking failure because Harley Quinn, I watched it. It's not a good fucking movie, guys. It's a shit movie. Simple as that.
Suicide Squad was terrible as well.
Yes, it was. And like I said, and I like Margot Robbie. I think she's a pretty good Harley Quinn. It just wasn't a good fucking film. It's simple as that,
Suicide
guys.
Squad definitely was kind of disappointing.
I think the only time I laughed
is writers, directors, producers. Sometimes it's not the actors. The actors can.
Well, this is the fucking point, though. People get fucking they get lazy because they figure, you know what? Then Harley Quinn's a name. She'll sell, and I can just put whatever. I can come into work, fucking drunk, hungover, write some bullshit on the fucking page, and they'll just fucking buy it. At this point now, people are getting to the point where it's like, listen, guys, and this has been said. There was a time where it's like you heard the name Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold can make the most shittiest fucking movie on earth, and you would go see it because it's fucking Arnold. Nowadays, no. If you make a shitty movie, nobody's going to fucking see it. Like,
and let's be honest, like Disney has spoiled us with fucking the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now we expect good fucking shit to come out in the theater. Like,
when it comes to specifically,
like when like Disney spoiled us.
This has been a fucking problem.
So many good movies that now. I want all movies to be good, and if your movie's not good,
and this has been the problem. It's like Downey. Prime example: the first film Downey made after fucking Endgame's over, Tony Stark is fucking dead. He made Doolittle. Doolittle. Go look up the history. How fucking much Doolittle. They thought because Robert Downey is Tony Stark and he's this and that too. He's a box office draw. No, he's not. It's a shit fucking movie. It's like you can't sell a shit movie no more, guys.
Draw is Iron.
Yeah,
the draw is Disney producing.
Yeah, so it's just like I say, this is, and the celebrities, they start losing their fucking star power. It's like, guys, we are past people. Maybe we've become smarter. Maybe we have too much technology. Maybe we have too much access to celebrities. But it's the fucking point that if you make a shitty movie, we're not going to go fucking see it. It's simple as that. And
Robert Downey is a good actor. Like I was in love with his fucking
he's
Sherlock Holmes fucking bit.
Oh my god!
Fucking amazing.
But like I said, any actor too. He's going by the director, the writers, and producers. At the end of the day, it's just like, hey guys, I show up, you tell me what to do. I do exactly what you tell me to do, and that's it. It's just like Arnold, Stallone, anybody, Jason Statham, every actor. Everyone in history has had shit fucking movies. That's not their fucking fault. It's that some people. I'm happy to say Henry Cavill is officially coming back as Superman. I've heard universally, everyone's like, listen, guys, those two fucking movies, it's not his fucking fault. He got some bad fucking scripts.
I'm not a Superman fan.
Henry Cavill is a great Superman. It's not his fault. It's a shit movie. Like
he was like hands down the best Superman.
In terms of physical, I respect him in terms of physicality. I've watched YouTube videos. That man, like Keanu Reeves, Henry Cavill busts his fucking ass at the gym. His workouts make my workouts look like just pussy shit. Like that man will, you can see it. He takes his shirt off. That man will work fucking 16 hours a day and said he gets into the role of Superman. Same as a fucking Rock. I don't give a fuck. People love to hate on the fucking Rock. Watch that man's Instagram feed. That shit's not fucking The Rock. The man sleeps like 2 hours a fucking day. Like.
Shit, my workout is the burger from the plate to my mouth. Hey. That's my workout, and it's delicious.
I told Junior about this earlier. I told Junior about this before we started the podcast.
I got Garfield who does the lasagna. So.
Another headline that popped up was, of course, Kanye and Kim are always in the headlines. But Kanye and Kim are now trying to sue their ex-bodyguard for $10 million.
Oh, you were talking about that with me on the phone when I was at work.
I forgot to tell these guys, too. So apparently, Kanye and Kim, because apparently they need the fucking money. They're pissed off at their ex-bodyguard. Their ex-bodyguard now he was on a podcast, of all things, was saying how much of a pain in the ass Kanye is to work for.
Which everybody knows.
Exactly.
Like, Kanye is a fucking weirdo. Everybody knows this. It can't be fun working.
I mean, look at him. Did you see the way he was dressed? Like, there was one time, like, he was wearing some, like, sweatpants and some ripped up jeans on top of it. It's just like, dude, do you even understand what a fashion statement is?
Kanye and Kim.
I've seen what some of these freaking fashion statements look like nowadays.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you know what?
According to their lawyers,
like half a shirt on the right side and a full shirt on the left. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you, 1.5 of a person?
Kanye, go inside and put some clothes on.
Yeah.
Your fucking fashion sense is pissing me off. I'm about to assault you because you're dressed like a moron.
Well, see, Al, if you say that too, Kanye may sue you for $1 million. So
Fucking sue me.
Yeah.
Sue me for everything, Kanye.
Yeah,
Take it all.
But he's
I'm gonna sue you for your Yeezys, motherfucker. Because you know what?
But the thing is, he's a public figure too, and if you go out in the public and you look like a homeless person, I get to call you
Lawsuit.
Yeah, guess what? And you're a public figure too. You dress this way for the attention, and you cry like a grown man baby when you don't get your way.
Here's the claim. Of course, their section is saying that their ex-bodyguard made false and defamatory comments about them, and they're threatening to hit him with at least a $10 million lawsuit if he does it again. What he did was he was on a podcast and he said that he's he said Kanye had some ridiculous rules he had to follow while working for them. This included walking at least 10 paces behind him on city streets, staying out of the way so paparazzi could take his picture, and other stipulations. He said, now this current bodyguard, he's a former NYPD officer. He's worked for several different high-profile clients and actors. He goes, Kanye is the moodiest and neediest celebrity I've ever fucking met. So...
we could tell that just by watching his normal everyday interaction.
I mean, just look at him. Look how he dressed.
From Kanye's side, they're trying to say that he allegedly signed an NDA agreement saying that he would not talk about these kinds of things. So
produce it.
Looking like the garbage man from Sesame Street.
The claim that his signature on the confidentiality agreement is forged is ridiculous and just another desperate attempt by him to escape responsibility for his own wrongful actions, the source said. And let's see. Of course, and this bodyguard's his reps are saying too. He didn't breach any kind of contract. He didn't say anything out. So, no, my client didn't breach any confidentiality. And he says he was just promoting his movie. But Kanye and Kim's their lawyer said a threatening letter to him. So.
Oh, you want to sue somebody? All right, you can sue me for saying this. Yeah. Yo, Kim K, your fucking legs look like stilts. It's like your ass looks like a diaper. Like you look like you're about to shit yourself every time you take a step. It's like
Kim K, I remember the time you made that video with you and Ray J having sex.
Exactly.
I jerked off to that shit 1,000 times. Good
job. Lawsuit, Christ already.
No, remember how angry her little fanboys were when she took that picture at the beach, and apparently they didn't take out the little lumps in her legs, and people were calling for her to be banned because they were upset that they didn't Photoshop her imperfections away.
All her fucking cellulite.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yo, her ass looks like two shit. Yo, if you look at her left ass cheek, it looks like size of a fucking moon. It's like, bitch, who the fuck do you think you talking to? All that fucking plastic surgery you got in that ass.
So apparently all that money she paid and she didn't even get it done right. Like,
and you still not even cute.
If you're gonna sue anybody, sue that motherfucker. Exactly. He fucked you up. Like, you ain't even.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, so the moral of the story is, if you talk shit about certain celebrities, they're gonna fucking sue you. So apparently we live in a nation now where we can't, if you're an asshole, I can't call you out for being an asshole, so you're gonna fucking sue me.
Yeah,
well, you know what? Her lips look like thick slices of tomato, so we can go there.
Wait, before we get any further, I want to put something on record. What episode is this? This is episode 12?
12, yep.
What's today's date? June 6th?
6, yep.
Okay. I want to put on a record. This is so we can look back in time and I could get to say I told you guys so. Mark my words, Kanye West is going to run for president. This whole shit that he was doing where he was trying to be friends with Trump or whatever, he's trying to capitalize on Trump's base so that in the future, they'd be his base. He is going to run for president and he's going to pretend that, they hated me just like they hated Trump, so everybody vote for me. When that happens, we'll rewind back to this moment so I could say, I fucking told you so.
Yo, I'm gonna vote for him just so I can make fun of his Yeezys.
I'm gonna go to his fucking press conference and throw tomatoes at him.
They'd be like, "This is what your wife's lips look like."
I'm not gonna vote for him because I still think Kim is a disgusting human being for having her little.
I think it might be too late for that, though.
Pictures of her.
According to this, it says Kanye announces for 2024 presidential run.
Wait.
Somebody beat me to it.
Wait. If he has a criminal record, he might not be able to run, though.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That says Kanye West has said he is serious about a run for the presidency, but that will not happen until 2024. If I decide to do it, it will be done. I'm not going to try, the rapper and fashion designer said. Yeah, right.
He's definitely going to try.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, I'm not 100%. It could happen until 2024.
He's going to shut up. He's going to show up to one of his rallies just like the Tin Man.
No, 2024, I'm voting for Chuck Norris. I don't give a shit.
Fuck yeah. Because you know what? The coronavirus is in isolation trying to fuck with Chuck Norris.
Yeah. No one survives a roundhouse kick from Chuck Norris. We need him in office now.
We fucking need him as president.
One of my main things I'm president is the medical industry. I'm going to make sure that the medical industry flourishes, Kanye West says. You fucking asshole. Like,
You know what needs to flourish? His whole fashion sense, because that shit is not flourishing.
Doesn't even know how to get into the fashion industry and make that flourish. I'm going to trust him with my fuck.
You can't even wear a proper. You can't even wear a button up properly.
I got a question for you guys. Has the old Dave Chappelle show? Does anyone remember when he was making fun of that show about people trying to be rappers, like P Diddy?
Yeah.
And he constantly got like. His bodyguards picked him up, rocked him to sleep, where he got he was doing piggyback rides. Tell me why that popped in my head when you started talking about Kanye West. I'm seeing these big ass burly dudes just carrying him like a baby, like in his house.
Christ, you fucking asshole.
Like, yo, take me to my bedroom, yes sir. No, do it the right way.
Well,
yes sir, Kanye West, sir, baby. Just
I
rocking
said this
them.
before, and I've tried, like I said, this is not political, but I've just said that, like, I get with people, some people who love Trump, some people who hate Trump. I said, but for those who love him, let me just say this. As someone who listened to Howard Stern, at least in the past, there was a system. You had to go through high school, you had to get an education. At some point, become possibly a mayor. Then we'll start with the police chief. Become a fucking mayor. At some point, you had to do public service. Then become a governor. Then become a congressman. There was a stepping up system to becoming fucking president. Love or hate Trump, I just told anybody who listens to this, I'm not telling you who to fucking vote for. However, the fact that Donald Trump, who has zero fucking experience in the political system, became fucking president. What now that you've opened the doors fucking for Trump, now because of presidency, at least there was a legitimate, like, history. You had to at least prove yourself in the public service to earn that fucking title. Now that Trump has done this, what's to stop now from Kim Kardashian from being the next fucking president? What's to stop this fucking bad Barbie chick? What's to stop any actress or fucking rapper, anybody from becoming president if Trump could fucking do it? Because he has zero political experience. So, you know what? If Kanye fucking runs in 2024, he could very well fucking win.
I'm going to run against him. I'm going to run against
I'm
Kanye
getting
West.
the hell
And again,
out of this country then.
And this is not me going against Trump. I'm just saying, guys, he was known as being a Celebrity Apprentice. That's where you knew him from. And he was a celebrity. He's a talk show fucking host. And, like, what's to stop Jerry fucking Springer, Maury Povich from being fucking president? If
Jerry Springer or Maury Povich ran for president, I'd vote for both of them bitches.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'll put them in the office for real.
Hey, would you guys vote for me?
Jerry Springer legitimately
Fuck
has
yeah,
a political career. He used
Oh,
to
no,
have.
I'm just saying, but you know, Jerry from the talk show. I'm just saying, it's like, what was the stop? Fucking whatever. Hugh Hefner from fucking becoming president. It's just like,
I would vote for him.
I'm saying when he was alive.
Listen, if anybody deserves to be the president of this country, it is fucking Hugh Hefner. You cannot tell. Like, this man has built a career out of making women naked. That man deserves to run this country.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But on a serious note, though, would you guys vote for me?
No.
Yeah, would.
God damn, Elliot.
No.
Shit. You
Because
can't vote for me.
There's too many inconvenient fat people that I worry about all of our safety.
He makes a valid point. I wouldn't feel safe in a country where Junior had the power to control the military.
No, it's not even that.
Like, can you imagine the amount of dead fat people? You'd wake up one day and fat people would be gone. And it would be like, what the fuck happened? And Junior would just be in the White House like,
He's like, make America thin again.
Okay, first of all, I would only kill off the inconvenient fat people.
That's what I said.
So if you take 45 minutes to order online, bitch, you're gone.
No, see, He'd be out there making a speech and see somebody come in on a motorized cart. People slowly walking behind him to get to their seats. Like, kill them now. They're so inconvenient. We need to stop this.
Fucking martial law.
Get rid of this.
That motherfucker's got a curfew.
First legislative act. All these fucking motorized scooters are to be burnt in a pile in front of the White House. And if you have a problem with it, you'll be on the fire pile as well.
Everybody's walking to lose weight.
If your ass can't move under your own power, you're going to die.
I was like, I'm going back.
Damn, I'm not that bad.
Bullshit.
That's funny as hell.
No, I can see him walking out of the UN. Like, sir, why didn't you stay for the meeting? Too many inconvenient fat fucks in there.
Yeah. Obviously, Junior would have fucking known, but listen, this country is fucking overweight. It's fucking obese, okay? This shit's gotta change. If you're above 400 pounds, you're getting fucking deported.
You're not thick. You're fat as fuck.
And he's gonna put all of the freaking American money into Slim Fast, Weight Watchers, keto diets.
You know, what would be crazy is fucking thanks to Junior, the economy would skyrocket. Because all fat people are now thin and actively working hard. Like the American economy is record-breaking high.
It's against the law to be fat.
Oh, shit.
It's like fat people got a curfew.
Junior has outlawed fatness.
Hey, you can say he's equal opportunist though. He's like, I don't give a shit. Listen, I'm not fucking racist. I don't give a fuck if you're black or you're white, if you're Spanish, if you're fat, you're gone.
Get fucking deported.
It was like, I don't give a fuck if you were born and raised here. Get your fat ass out of there.
No. That's not even the worst of it.
He will set up snipers.
No, see, that's
Like, oh, you going to McDonald's for the 5th time? You're dead.
He'll have special people in the hospitals too. Like, ma'am, we gotta talk. I'm like, I see you put on a lot of weight. I'm pregnant yet. Let me see that ultrasound. Oh, yep, just like I thought. Negative. You lying bitch. Lose that weight.
Yeah, Jen, we listen to this too. Jen, you're fucked.
I'm turning all the escalators off. Lose weight. I can't breathe.
He tries hiding so bad, but every time he says, because he can't talk about a fat person, he's like, you fat piece of shit, and like he subconsciously says shit with anger, like, you fat fuck.
It pisses me off. You don't understand.
You said I sounded angry. So you're really going hard on that shit.
Oh Christ!
Fuck.
Oh God.
We killed almost a good 2 hours. I've been doing my last story because this is pretty goddamn funny. So I'll bring up. It's the last story of the night. I have trouble saying this, but like, have you guys heard about? Because now it's June and it's 2020, so it's gonna keep getting worse. We all know that. So, have you heard about the blood monkeys?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Have you heard of the Skrygers?
I am not joking.
It says monkeys steal COVID-19 test samples.
In India, a bunch of fucking monkeys jumped a fucking lab worker. They beat the shit out of them, and they stole 4 vials of blood, which was fucking laced with coronavirus, because they're trying to test samples for the coronavirus to cure it, and the fucking monkeys stole it. They broke out of the facility with fucking 4 vials of coronavirus.
And are these as bad as the flamethrower squirrels?
I don't know. Well, apparently too, they were eating some fucking gloves too. They were eating gloves now.
That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me because if you go online, like you go to YouTube and you Google like monkey videos, you see all these videos of monkeys that are doing shit that if it happened to you, you'd be pissed. But you seeing it happen is fucking hilarious. I remember this one monkey. This made me. I'm not exaggerating. I laughed for like 20 minutes straight. My stomach started to cramp. Tears are streaming down my cheeks. I couldn't stop laughing. It was somewhere in India. This guy's walking down the street. There's a monkey sitting up on the building. He's walking by, minding his business. He doesn't see the monkey. The monkey looks at him for about 3 minutes, and then it jumps off the wall, runs across the street, drop kicks the guy, runs back across the street, and back up on the building. So by the time this guy gets up to find out what happened, the monkey's gone. This guy's looking around like, who the fuck did this? It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. I laughed so hard. My stomach was cramping up, tears streaming down my face. I can't catch my breath. I can't stop laughing. I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. It was so funny. Like, this monkey was like, you son of a... Remember that day you promised me that chicken, you didn't give it to me? I'm gonna drop kick your ass.
That's what you get for not giving me that Nana.
Yo, and it was like, I'm telling you, it didn't look like the action of a wild animal. It looked like a well thought out, methodical, well planned, and initiated assault and retreat. He hopped off the wall, ran across the road, drop kicked this guy, and was gone before the guy even got back up. And then the guy got up all confused, like, what the fuck happened? Monkey got you, bitch. That's what happened. The monkey fucked him up. It was hilarious.
Oh,
like,
Christ.
I'm gonna see if I can find that shit right now.
This reminds me of Family Guy, how Chris is inconsistent with the ingredients.
Well, so according to the story, you said that they were still intact, the blood vials. We don't think there's any risk of contamination or spread, Regis said. He said 3 people whose samples were stolen had to be retested for the virus. Now, it says coronavirus has been detected in animals, but there has been no confirmation that the disease can be passed from humans to them. So, the thing I'm talking about is, listen, I have loved and watched the latest Planet of the Apes trilogy, which had Andy Serkis playing Caesar. That entire trilogy was about one thing. Was about a fucking virus.
The Squiger? That is fucking amazing.
What is it?
The Squiger.
What the hell is a
It's a
Squiger?
squirrel tiger. You gotta see this. You gotta see that. Isn't this fucking amazing?
Have you not heard?
How have we not heard about the Squiger?
There's another one someone said. I think it was something like Korean flamethrower squirrels.
I put that on our Facebook page. Check out our Facebook page. I put on our Facebook page. Check out Blue Collar Losers, guys. I put down, like, this just in. I read it on the internet, so it must be true that there is Korean flamethrower squirrels have invaded America. So I was like, Al, we're fucked. The squirrels are coming.
The squirrels are on their way.
Fucking murder hornets, fucking flamethrowing squirrels.
The last Planet of the Apes trilogy, you guys have all watched it and shit too. It was all about Caesar the fucking monkey, that this virus wiped out humankind and the apes were immune to it. Right now, we've gone so far back in this coronavirus, we've pissed off the monkeys so bad, the monkeys are testing us. They're stealing our fucking blood, seeing what we're immune to. It's like...
This is the beginning of the rise of the Planet of the Apes.
I'm telling you, when we have
monkeys are taking over.
These monkeys are drinking the blood, thinking, okay, this shit don't affect us. Now we're gonna start fucking up these humans. Like,
the monkeys are wild over there. I just saw a video online a couple days ago where a monkey tried to steal a human baby.
Yeah,
like random. Yeah, monkey, like the guy was sitting outside. It was a real crazy thing. The family was sitting outside. The baby was right on the side. Monkey just casually strolls up, grabs the toddler, and starts the book. And I think they yelled at him, screamed at him, or whatever. He got spooked and let go and ran. But here's the video. I don't know if this is the same one, but this is very similar. The monkey drop kicking the guy.
Oh, Christ.
All that shit made me
We're going to post this on fucking Facebook so you guys can watch this. It's 20 seconds long. Damn, that chimp fucked him up. Holy Christ.
That shit hurt him.
That's going to be on Facebook, guys.
Like, that shit hurt him.
So, I just typed in monkey stealing. I'm fucking drunk already. I put monkey steaking human. It's stealing human. Let's see. Human baby. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that shit is scary.
Wow. This says monkey kills a 12-day-old baby after snatching it from its parents. Wow, that's fucked up.
That would put me on a kill every monkey warpath.
You goddamn dirty apes.
A steep drop in the monkey population.
You forget about that incident where the woman owned I forget what kind of monkey.
And the one that would rip her face off?
No, it ripped her French face off.
Yeah, I think I remember.
And I was watching Joe Rogan, and he made a point. He's like, maybe it's because that monkey wanted that woman.
Yeah.
It's like they're highly aggressive. It's like maybe that dude was blocking the monkey, so it tore his face off. I'm like, God damn.
This comes from telegraph.co.uk. A 12-year-old baby boy was killed when a monkey snatched it from his breastfeeding mom in India. In the latest warning sign that primates are being forced into cities in search for food and amid environmental destruction. Wow.
Yeah.
They need to start controlling those populations.
This is also why, too, it said, you motherfuckers who bitch about how bad America is. I've never one time had my son in his crib worried about a monkey jumping in and abducting my kid.
There are parts of the world where dingoes actually sneak into people's houses and drag the kids out in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's terrifying. This is the
The
one where
dingo really did eat your baby.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
But people don't understand how scary nature is. And hopefully they'll never
grab the baby and tried to run away with it.
Wow, yeah.
That's some terrifying shit as a parent.
That's fucked up. Wow. Okay.
That was premeditated.
I'm going to put this on our Facebook page, guys. Yeah, there's a fucking chimp trying to check out Sue.
Drags that baby
down. That kid, was that monkey driving a fucking motorcycle?
He was running funny. He was like on like three legs trying to
I believe he was driving a little moped and then grabbed at the kid.
Goddamn apes shit.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
See?
Grab that kid. He's trying to make off with that baby. Like if that was my kid, I swear to God, I would be on a kill every monkey killing spree. Like,
See, look,
I would definitely kill a lot of damn monkeys.
See, look,
around my house.
in this country, black people worry about fucking cops. In India, their kids worry about fucking monkeys stealing their kids. Like,
and in other parts, dingoes.
In America, black people are monkeys as far as the cops are concerned. And they're trying to reduce the population.
You know what? Let's go some time with. I'll actually ask you that.
Yo, let's do a Florida Man challenge.
What the fuck is that?
You put your birthday on. You research on Google your birth date.
Yeah.
And then you put Florida Man challenge your birthday.
I'm too drunk.
And you look it up on Reddit. Like what I have here for mine, it says Florida Man hid face with underwear to steal Walmart electronics.
That seems about right.
You fucking moron.
It says here, Florida Man charged with burning underwear at Starbucks.
I could see you doing that as well.
I think I fucked my
Uh-oh.
fucked my third glass of Russian vodka, but that's definitely no stereotype I want to ask out some point when I'm more sober. But like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, where did like calling black people monkeys like? Why? I don't get it. I just like
I have
like
no idea.
what's like I call Susan a panda because look at her, but like it's like
it's like why call natives redskins or savages?
Well, like the thing with Native American
rednecks.
Indians, I can get Indians because they call them the red man because Indians being out in the desert in different parts of America, they had redder skin, different hues to their skin. I got that part too. But where it became a stigma for calling black people monkeys, I never understood like where. Like why? It's like why that out of all animals?
I don't know. I mean, we could probably Google it and get some information. But if I have to guess, I'll hazard a guess, and this is just a guess. I have nothing to back this up. Yeah. But I would assume it's from back in the time of slavery, where they passed laws that relegated human beings to being animals. Like they made black people animals, and I would guess that that's the only link I could think of where we were humans. We look like humans, but they considered us not humans. So they call us monkeys.
This is from theconversation.com. Comparing black people to monkeys has a long, dark simian history. So I'll read this in a second. You guys can talk.
I was going to say, my guess would be when they went to other continents, they may have seen them hunched over in the bushes, thought it was a monkey of some sort until they stood up and some idiot ran scared.
That might be true. That's a possibility. But the reason I wouldn't go that way is because, believe it or not, before the Europeans started the slave trade, people didn't see black people in a negative light. Like all parts of the world interacted with Africa. Yeah. Like parts of Europe, parts of Asia, they all interacted with Africa. The stigma that black people got as being the lowest form of human came from the Europeans. They created that when they installed the chattel slave trades. Because like I said, in human history, everybody were slaves. Like if you went to Europe, all the different ethnicities of the European continent warred against each other, and when whoever lost, they captured slaves. It was the same in Africa, where all the different ethnicities in Africa would war against each other, and when you lost the war, you became slaves, and they would sell slaves to the Europeans. And then it was that way until the Europeans started stealing slaves, And once the chattel slave trade began, and they started in Europe and in America, started creating laws that made Africans no longer be considered people, but now become animals. That's what started it all. That's the thing, because like before that happened, we were just regular people. Yeah. Like they had never seen Chinese people until they got to China. They had never seen Africans until they got to Africa. Once these people were seen, we all established trade routes. It was commonplace trading.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I get too much fucking Puerto Rican whiskey. I mean, I have to
That's
do that when I'm rum whenever I'm sober. So
Russian rum. Now it's
I
Puerto Rican he's sober,
whiskey.
but he's drinking.
Exactly. So
the Puerto Rican rum is actually really good, though.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm liking this shit. I'm feeling pretty good. But so one more fucking tour. So Susan, I was listening to this on Sue. So you remember how like Elton John was doing his whole farewell tour? This is Elton John's final farewell, and he's done and stuff. And obviously because of Corona, he stopped doing it. So reportedly, Sir Elton, is going to lose according up to $60 to $70 million of this farewell tour because of Corona. So he's talking about finishing the fucking tour because financially he needs to finish the tour so he can retire. And everyone's like, so if you lose $60 million from this tour, right? How bad is your finances where you can't retire? So
Seriously.
So I had to Google how much. Listen, I've fucking heard Elton John songs. I grew up with Elton John, and I wanted to see what his celebrity worth was and stuff too. According to his celebrity net worth, he's 73 years old. His net worth is over $500 million. So Elton's saying that because of the coronavirus and his farewell goodbye tour, that he's losing anywhere from $50 to $60 million, and because of this loss, he won't be able to retire. He has to come back once the coronavirus is over and finish his tour. So Elton, if you're worth $500 fucking million, you can't take a $50 fucking million loss.
No, you cannot. That's that greed.
Oh Christ! So it's like
this ice bag is smarter than I am.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen a lot of is
we're gonna wrap this up in a couple minutes though.
People saying that because we're not going out to see movies, new shows aren't really coming out, new concerts and all that. It's a realization that we don't need celebrities as much as they thought we need them.
We talked about this before. That said, the celebrity status, the movie star status, it is they're losing the power that they once had.
Yeah. I believe it was episode 7, the first one I was on, about the bias and how, you have Madonna singing in her bathtub and bathroom about whatever, Gal Gadot walking in her own personal orchard. Or
Ellen DeGeneres, she's like, Elton has a $35 million mansion. She goes, I know what it's like to be in prison. And I'm like, Ellen, I've been in fucking prison, trust me. Your $35 fucking million mansion was not like the prison I was in, lady.
I'm pretty sure she has rooms bigger than my entire apartment, so I don't want to hear it. But the thing is, they're taking such a financial hit because their way of living, all those expenses, it's like, oh, we can't keep it up. You keep spending. You're getting nothing. Month after month, they're panicking.
Yeah.
They're panicking.
So we're on fucking 2 hours and 6 minutes, and I'm kind of like, I got all my news stories out of the way. Junior got his callouts out of the way, and I'm pretty fucked up off this Puerto Rican rum. And of course, if I got one glass of wine, Al sucked down a whole bottle of wine to himself. It was good.
It was so good.
I'm glad I bought that cheap wine.
Next session, I'll give you like $40, and you could grab some.
We
need at least 3 of these.
Yeah,
because I'm gonna need 2 to my face.
No, I definitely would like to talk about more of the whole like the riot and race stuff too. But honestly, I'm too fucked up to care at the moment, and not in a bad way. But like I told Al, I started fucking drinking about this shit because like it's on my fucking Facebook, and whether it's Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and shit. There's just so much stuff going on where it's like I want to show later Al and Junior these 2 videos where it's like I just don't know what to believe anymore. I just know the fact that it's fucked up what's happening, and it doesn't seem like, as a pessimistic person, I just don't feel like this stuff is gonna get any better. I don't. It's like, what fucking, I can kind of drunkenly say this too. Junior knows my fucking son. Al hasn't seen Christian in a while, but he's 13, and I picked him up yesterday and drove him, went to the park with the dog. We came back, and I said, Christian, it really breaks my heart to say this, where it's like, I want my little baby, he's fucking 13. I want him to be a baby for as long as possible. I want him to grow up. And it's just like, but you're 13 now, you're officially a teenager, and it's like, Dad, what's going with the rides? What do I tell my kid? What do I tell him? I said, Christian, I said to him, I honestly don't know what to say to you anymore. I don't know what to tell you. I said, and it hurts so fucking bad where my kid was like, Dad, why isn't racism ended for? And when people say this stuff to with black people and they're black kids and they ask these questions, look, this kids of all fucking races, this affects them kids. And my son's a little fucking blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy. My kid looked at me with the fucking brightest eyes and he said, Dad, why hasn't racism ended for? And like, what the fuck do you tell your fucking 13-year-olds? It's, again, he knows, he hasn't seen Al in a while, but he knows Big Al. Junior is his uncle, He has a grandfather, my mother's, stepfather, whatever, mother's husband. That is his grandfather. My son's mother, we don't get along, but she's with a black guy. I don't give a fuck. He treats my kid good. Cool, dude. His Aunt Kaya is mulatto. And so, of course, my son doesn't see fucking skin color. And he goes, Dad, why hasn't racism ended for? And I said to him, Christian, all I can tell you as your dad is like, I told him, like, I don't know. I said, I don't feel like people in your lifetime, buddy, you're 13. Obviously, you're 13. He can't comprehend the things we can as adults. I'm like, I don't think in my lifetime, in your lifetime, and even when you're dad one day of your own, I don't think in my grandkids' lifetimes this is ever going to end. I was like, all I can tell you as your dad is that, be good to people, treat people fucking right. And he goes, yeah, Dad, I never want to treat people differently because of their skin color. And I'm like, unfortunately, buddy, your view of the world, that changes. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just said to him, all I can do as your dad is I can protect you. I can protect your Uncle Junior. I can protect my friend Al. I said to him, we have been recording a podcast for a month now, which you're too young to listen to our podcast because we say a lot of swear words and some funny stuff.
Shit.
And I said, we say raunchy stuff, Christian. And he gets it. But I said, I'm recording this podcast too because years later, you can listen to this podcast, what your dad and his friends talked about. And I said, but like, I don't know what to tell you anymore. I don't know what to say to you. I was like, unfortunately, all I can tell you is that I'm your dad. I love you. Treat people equally. And I'm like, and I just don't, the fuck do I say anymore? It's like, this shit will never change. I'm sorry. I don't feel like as human beings, fuck guys, it's 2020. It's like, in human beings, who knows when our first documented history was? Was it 4,000 years ago? Was it 5,000 years ago? Look at the human race. Guys, we have not fucking evolved. Sorry.
Well, this is the unavoidable truth. There is going to come a point in time where race isn't going to matter. That's going to happen. That's an unavoidable truth. Like, the only reason race is a factor right now is because people are holding on to all types of old, dead ideologies that just can't. They just can't last. They like, consider how strong slavery was. Racism was. Racism was so bad that people created laws that made another race of people animals. Right? That's how bad it was at one point. We're at a point now where we've moved forward, and things aren't perfect. They're by no stretch of the imagination great, but they have definitely moved along in a positive way. And there's a lot more work to do. But regardless of, no matter what anybody says, at some point in time, racism shit isn't going to exist because we're all going to look, in terms of race, we're all going to look identical. We're all going to have to intermingle to a point of.
That's a problem, man. We've talked about this in the past as friends, like, but then what if we all look, what if we're all the same color? But then it's just like, my God, your God. I live in New York, you live in Boston.
This is what inevitably is going to happen. Like I said, we are going to face existential crises that are going to force us to not linger on bullshit. Shit that's irrelevant and inconsequential. We're not, like, race isn't going to be a thing. Like, gender inequality isn't going to be a thing. There's the stuff that's coming down the pipelines for us as a species, like the shit that's going to threaten our very existence. We're going to have to learn very quickly that the stupid shit that doesn't matter is going to have to be put aside. We're not going to be able to be mad at women for being women. Women aren't going to be able to be mad at men for being men.
Yeah.
Different race, people born in different places with different skin tones, that shit is going to be pointless because we're going to be faced with the extinction of us as a species. And at the end of the day, the concept of, I don't want to intermingle with you because you're from that part of the dirt and I'm from this part, or you're that color, I'm this color.
Yeah.
That shit is not going to matter. It's going to be irrelevant. So this shit that we're going through, we're taking steps to get toward that. And it's going to be a long, rough road. It's probably not going to happen in our lifetime unless there is some massive threat that threatens the way of life of the planet.
I made this joke to you earlier where it's just like, you know, like people would say, like, Al sent me a TikTok video and he's like, this is why I hate racism before. He goes, imagine if you took this much energy and put this in something productive. We would like be conquering, we would be exploring the stars. And I was
like if the amount of fucking focus that we put on being a racist and fighting racism, imagine if we put that level of focus into building spaceships. We would have already fucking inhabited the solar system. Like, that's a fact. We would have already conquered how to fucking create energy that lets us do intergalactic travel. Like, we'd be able to literally shoot from one galaxy to the other. It's the same thing it's the same thing with the period in history of the Dark Ages and like right around the time of the Spanish Inquisition where they stomped down on everything science.
Yeah.
If that didn't happen, think of how much further ahead technologically we would have been right now if it wasn't for that entire period of human existence where science was considered the devil's work.
Yeah.
You know, stupid shit like that. Like, religion is really working against us as a species.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
That's another thing that needs to go.
I'll tell you one thing. As we wrap this up, I'm really upset how you guys view me as a president. You know what I'm saying? Because I am not that bad of a president, right? And it will not be martial law against fat people.
Think of the positive effects your harsh brutality would bring.
I know right now the three of us that have me, Al, and fucking Elliot, I have the least chance of being murdered because I can still drop weight, but you guys are fucked.
Listen, I wouldn't even die. I'd be like, yo, if you're going to kill me, at least let me go out on this cheeseburger.
I'm not going to kill you guys. What the hell?
I would go down on that cheeseburger as if it was a sexy girl. Like,
gonna look every drop of ketchup like, bitch, you're mine.
Spread them buns open.
Spread the buns open gently. Lick the pickle.
I'll never taste you again.
It's my last goodbye.
McDonald's outlawed.
Nope, I got this one. I'll just look at him like, nope, you can't get rid of me. Why? Because I can still do the job of others. I'm not inconvenient.
Exactly.
Mic drop and walk away.
Exactly. Inconvenient fat people extinct.
And like the way of the dinosaurs, they were gone.
If you're in a hover round, you're so fucked.
In the year 2030, Junior has won for presidential candidate. He has definitely changed the way America functions in terms of health.
We're going to be the healthiest nation in the world.
Everybody's going to be terrified. America's going to be number one.
Again, I know because we started drinking sentimental, but Elliot said his brother Carlton to catch him on the podcast. He goes, dude, he's like, this shit's really funny. I'm liking this. I want to come down. I said, Carlton, if we get everybody here, plus Jen and plus Susan and Carlton, he's a little bit, you and Carlton about what, the same height? Or
roughly.
Yeah. If we get that into this this floor will collapse. It can't handle this much beef.
1.5 tons of beef.
But I told Carlton, you're more than welcome to come down because, like, Carlton's bullshit, deep fucking voice in his stories is going to be the way between you, Al, between Carlton, Elliot, and Al, it's with the fucking, the space-time continuum can't handle this shit. Like,
especially we start making fun of the man cat.
And you know what he's going to say, too, about your floor not supported, like,
yeah. But I'm fucking lost. I'm drunk. But yes, no, I definitely have some opinions about the whole fucking racism stuff and the writing things too. Unfortunately, I'm too loaded to fucking get into it. But like, I do think it's just that I want to show Alan Jr. some videos where it's confusing the fuck out of me because there's just so much shit going on. Like, it's like, I'm happy. Look, we got 2 hours done. We laughed a lot. Junior got his questions. And again, guys, we got a Facebook page going. It's Blue Collar Losers podcast page. You got questions for Will, for me, Al, Elliot, let us know. And so we want to just like I said too, I love the fact that, this is we're just a bunch of fucking guys drinking some like cheap fucking strawberry wine, and Junior's got Fireball. I downed half a bottle.
Delicious strawberry wine.
It's so good for $4. Like
the best $4 I ever spent.
I'm happy Junior got some fucking friends. Whether he got 2 or 3 friends, any of his friends, they have to listen to his questions. And said we had fun, guys. It's like, you don't get this if you listen to this shit. if you feel like we didn't get into detail of your question, when you start talking, man, 2 hours goes by like in a second. It's so, especially when you got friends. Like Alice said this. Even Carlton knows this too. The more we're talking, we're getting a fucking flow off each other, which is like, I said, I couldn't do this shit alone. It's like if Junior was here, when Junior's here, Al's here, Elliot's here, and even fucking Susan, we are just the flow of each other. It's getting just every week easier and fucking easier. Like it's at the point where it's like, I'll say, Junior, I wrote down a couple of things. Junior wrote down a couple of things, and like we should talk about this one thing for a couple hours, and we just start freestyling, and it's fucking. We just killed 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Especially when Al becomes my new dad.
You're grounded for wanting to kill so many inconvenient fat people.
We'll kill 10 more minutes, but you got because you've got so many. Do you have any kind of like? I could probably add into ones because I'm fucking drunk, so it's funny. But any kind of big stories right now?
Yes, I do. Okay, I got a good one.
We broke down Six Flags, the infamous fucking trip, and then that's all I can think of right now.
All right, guys. You guys ready for another story?
Susan and Jen, listen to this.
And I'm drunk, so this is gonna get good. This is gonna get real
10
good.
minutes. We'll make 2.5 hours. Fuck it.
All right, so to wrap this shit up is another story about my infamous so-called sperm donor that brought me into fucking existence, right? Because Al's my new dad, so we're not even gonna go there, all right? So here it goes, all right? You ready for this? All right. So we were trying to work out with Dad. This is the worst. I can never go to the gym with my fucking father. Okay, I just can't. I can't. This man is the most unorthodox person when it comes to working out ever.
Oh, Christ.
Right? So we were doing push-ups. So he was like this, I'm going to make you guys do a few push-ups. So he said he wanted to go first to make an example. Now, we're all trying to all right, we're keeping our heads full. We're not, you know what I'm saying? We're like, all right, Dad's trying to get us in good shape. Let's see what he got, Even though he's fat, let's see what he has, The way that he was doing his push-ups will forever... It's just one of those things that never gets old. The way that because he wants all of us to breathe in and out as we're working out so we don't pass out. But when he's saying the numbers of his push-ups, the numbers don't come out right. All right? Now, don't make me laugh when I do this. All right? Do not make me laugh. This is bad. This shit. Holy fuck! That shit gets serious. All right. So he gets down. He gets in a position. And you're just like, oh fuck! Like he's really going for it.
400 pounds.
This fat fuck really going for it. So. All right, so this is how it goes. When he does his first one, he's like, "Whoa!" Now we're thinking all right, he's a little intense. He's just loosening up his muscles. We're good. But then he's like, "Ooh!" And we're like, "Is he on number 2, or is that a number, or what's going on?" Hurry! And we're just like, "Well, all right." My little brother starts laughing so fucking hard. He literally is turning purple. I'm fucking crying, I'm fucking laughing so hard. He's fucking laughing so hard. My dad gets up after the first 3. He's like, "Get out." And then he gets down for the 4th push-up. He's like, "Whore." He can't even finish the full set of 10 because we're laughing at him. Because it's like, holy fuck. This is not how you're supposed to count. These aren't numbers. You're saying adjectives. You're describing people's lifestyles. You're not even saying numbers. It was like, what the fuck? Oh my god! It was probably the funniest experience trying to work out.
Remember, he had the Gazelle.
Oh my god! Have you guys? The Gazelle is a machine.
Yes.
That you use to walk fast on.
You can look up Gazelle.
You don't run.
You walk.
You walk fast.
I remember that thing too.
And with long strides.
Yes.
And my father pulled his hamstring on it. He said it just like this. He's like, I had to make a visit to Dr. Love.
I seen a prescription bottle that said Dr. Love on it. I'm like,
He said he got a shot in the back of his leg. He was like, he let out like the lowest groan in history of pain. Like it was just like, holy fuck.
he fucking told me that. He's like, I had to go to the hospital.
Dude, how the fuck do you pull your hamstring walking fast? That's how you know you're fat. That's how you know you got too much fucking mass. When you're pulling your hamstring walking fast.
One time I came over, he was on like fucking gazelle. It was, Christ, I wish we had camera phones back then. Because I would have made a fucking YouTube video with 1 billion views.
We're gonna get healthy, guys. After you put a fucking quarter of a cake in a microwave and threaten to throw elbows for somebody eating it.
When I first went
A whole fucking no, and this was a triple layer cake, and he put a fucking whole quarter of the cake. He's like, nobody better touch my cake. I'm gonna throw some elbows. Like, holy fuck, dude, this is a whole quarter of the cake. I never get any. Like you fucking need it.
I first went to prison. I was writing junior fucking letters in jail because I lost 30 pounds in jail when I went to prison. I was a junior. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to do push-ups. I get thinking I'm fucking big. It's just like, whoa. Two. It's like,
ooh. He doesn't say two. He says ooh.
I came out of fucking jail and lost 85 pounds. Big kid. He did what? 7 years?
Yeah, about that long.
And he gained weight. It's like, how did you gain weight?
Yo, I heard he gained like 100 pounds. He was eating that yakisoba.
Chilling with Yum Yum.
I'll never forget in my lifetime. Thank God I recorded that shit in that podcast. It's like I wish I could have visually explained. Where it's like said the closest thing was said Peter Griffin on Family Guy. There was no dick. Oh, it was just belly. Like I said, because I was
like, guys, how you doing? Like you sound fat when you talk.
He did. I said, I came by here.
Fat when you sound fat.
You sound like you got 4 chins.
I gave my trails. Like, here, scrape off my yakisoba. Yo, thanks, guys. It was like you could take your hands apart. It was like it was like 3 telephone books. Fuck yakisoba. Like how even the guards looking at him like they're disgusted. Like and then he went back to the dorm, was eating pieces of bread with butter, and you're like, for Christ's sake.
It's like what Al said. I fucking went to a cell with a fucking soap in my fucking pillowcase, just beating him with it, trying to beat the fat off him. Lose weight.
When that CO, that fucking CO came over to that bed, he kicked that fucking bed so hard. It's like,
stop snoring. That's me.
There was like 20 guys in the dorm were laughing their ass off. Like I said, because I couldn't sleep. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. You're hearing 2 hours of fucking snoring and farting, and it was wet too.
Oh my gosh! I can only imagine. Oh,
I can't believe I had so much fucking fun in prison. It's like,
holy fuck!
Instead of prison to have a bad time, I'm laughing my ass off in prison. Like, what the fuck is going on?
But his name is Yum Yum. Like it's like, yo.
What do you call him at that point?
Holy fuck!
He doesn't stop eating. Like there were certain dishes where I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed hungry because this shit's so disgusting. I'm turning away. He didn't turn down a meal. Like,
of course he didn't turn down a meal. Stomach went past his fucking knees.
Holy Christ! I still can see the mental image in my head where it's like he walked.
Yeah, he would die under my martial laws. He'd be the first to go.
He'd be an example.
Like I said, Junior would have a fucking CO. They would have fucking farted within a week. Like he's beating me in mace. Well, yes,
I'm not that bad. Jesus,
you really are.
You're so inconveniently fat.
He was though. It's like he'd walk to the mess hall with a cane. It's like Jesus Christ.
Oh, he walked to the mess hall with a cane. I'm like, you're not allowed to eat unless you can walk here on your own. You fat fuck.
You can't get to the mess hall under your own power. You are going to starve.
No, that's about the time
canes.
you hear that man's spirit break under his weight.
All right. Cool. Fucking 227. We're good, guys. We got like Junior, during the week, we'll come back on Tuesday. Any fucking people want to talk to Will, hit him on Facebook. I want to start a Twitter with you guys, but Jesus Christ, it's hard for me to want to start a Twitter because Al will send me something on WhatsApp, and I'll see something that Junior did, and I'm like, I want to start a Twitter, but I don't want to start a Twitter.
It's gonna be a lot between managing Twitter and like the Facebook group and stuff like that.
You think
Twitter's just very toxic.
You think we've pissed people off now? Wait till Twitter gets a hold of a fraction of anything Al said, you said, or I've said.
Let him get a hold of what I said. I'm ready for it.
Like, don't put my name out there.
They'll be posting our address, posting who we are, where we work.
Try to get us fired, swatted,
but then again, too, hey, like, but the thing is, we could, if we piss off 5 people, we get 1,000 fans, maybe it's worth it. So it's like, but it's at Twitter too. It's like, there's whether it's Joe Rogan or fucking Stern, you're gonna have 1,000 dickheads hate you. But if we get fucking 1,000 more fans, fuck it, man.
I'll take 1,000 dickheads over 1,000 people hating me on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing to wrap this up. I just want to go off by adding what Chris said. Guys, I love dialogue. I love answering questions. This is what I love. I love it when you guys tell me or just give me something to talk about. Yeah. I mean, I have plenty of things on my mind that I could talk about.
That's what we're here for.
And it's not just inconvenient fat people. I can literally talk about just about anything. I mean, anything. Give me a topic and I'll bring it to your attention.
Like eating ass.
You know what I'm saying? Especially eating ass. That's an art form. You know what I'm saying? And it involves a lot of tongue punching. But anyway. But it's just like, guys, I love dialogue and stuff like that. And you know what? In the future, if we ever did get any sort of donations or proceeds or anything like that, I can promise you that 100% of that, I'm donating to hospitals. I'm donating to the people who truly deserve it. I'm donating to people who, you know what I'm saying? I'm donating to orphanages. I'm donating to places that really need these things. I mean, I work for a living, and that's all I'm ever going to do.
All of us do. All 4 of us do. And Jennifer and Susan work too. That's what's it. I want people, if you ever come to my house, we invite you to this podcast, you better have a fucking job. I don't want to hear like, well, I'm on fucking Twitch. Get the fuck out. The second I hear I'm on Twitch, before you even get the full word of Twitch out, if I hear TW at your mouth, get the fuck, you're not coming here. Because Twitch isn't a fucking real job. Influencers aren't a real job. Get a fucking real job.
And I have also invited my friends as well to like, at some point, like, hey, even if you guys want to join the podcast and, sit with us and, drink a little bit.
This floor can handle it.
You know what I'm saying? And, just say dumb shit and just laugh our fucking asses off about the random shit that we talk about. Too, especially me being president. Yeah. Like it's just gonna be funny.
That's a fucking point. Listen to it. We're having some fucking
president ever.
we're having some fucking drinks. We're all friends here. We can have differences of opinions, but we can talk about this in a joking and civil fucking manner. So it's like we can all. It's hard for me to be like that because I'm fortunate. I'm blessed. I have 3 assholes next to me that all their opinions I agree with. So it's like, but even if I didn't agree with your opinion, still we can have a civil fucking dialogue. And I'll talk about this next podcast. Jen posted something too. She had to delete this woman's comments. This woman, like anything, it became a big, massive insult fucking fest. Names were being called. I posted something very civil. I will read it out loud. And I said, and everyone liked it. But she had a friend who got really fucking nasty. And I said, listen, that's the fucking point, guys. If you want to have conversations, have conversations. Don't start saying fuck you or don't start saying racial shit. Don't start saying all this. It's like we're not going to fucking progress as a society, as fucking people, if all we keep doing is turning this into massive flame wars and massive like insults. Like have a conversation as decent civil human fucking beings, because I know it's just the internet, but this is how riots happen. This is how people get fucking punched in the face. This is how bad things happen, because you won't sit down and have a civil conversation. We can agree to disagree, but be cool about it. Don't be an asshole. And there's at this point we mentioned too. Elliot said about like the whole thing with what's her name there, the redhead. He's hitting Trump and stuff too.
Oh, Kathy Griffin.
Yeah, listen, we all know, guys. There's comedy. We love comedy. I love raunchy comedy, but there's being comedy and there's being a fucking asshole. There's comedy. There's funny racial comedy, and there's comedy. You're just doing it just to be fucking racist. And at this point, if you're above the age of like 12, you should know better. I said Dave Chappelle, In Living Color, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, we can talk about comics all day. It was very smart racial comedy. Some of you motherfuckers, you're picking these social media platforms just to be a racist fucking piece of shit. If you can't tell the difference between racial smart comedy and just racist comedy, then you're the problem. I said I'm all fucking for smart racial comedy, not being it said the word nigger itself too. It has, in terms of like Blazing Saddles or Dave Chappelle, they use that in very comedic fucking versions. But just saying it just to say it, no, you're just being a racist prick.
So how are we gonna end this, guys? You know, I started it. And I'm also gonna conclude it.
Yeah, I'll say my piece. You already know what I was gonna say, but actually for Junior, you can end this for the first time. So Elliot, what do you guys say?
Like I posted on Jen's thing about, you know, people like now there's a lot of people forcing white people to apologize for their white privilege. I saw videos where these people claiming to be from Black Lives Matter having people get on their knees in front of them, denounce Trump and denounce white privilege. And my thing is, look, that's not helping. I see everyone as equals. Yes, I can see everyone's skin color. Yeah. I treat you all the way you treat me. We're good. We're good. I respect you. I got your back. But come on. Just stop the killing already. I'm sick and tired of it. There's so much hate going on. I just can't be hateful. So, like, I agree with you. Let's all just have a conversation, a better understanding instead of killing each other. Because in the end, that's only going to breed more hatred, and nobody wins. Period.
You know what though? I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is so inevitable. I feel like we should just all add, flames to the fuel and just let it fucking let the war happen now, because it's inevitable, man.
It is. I agree with you.
It's inevitable. At some point, there's going to be the problem that we're facing right now is that. And this isn't. I'm going to say this, but understand this is kind of a shot at Trump, but it's not a shot at his leadership. This is, well, yeah, it is kind of. But anyway, I'll say this: the situation that's happening right now. What we need for this situation is we need strong, aggressive, affirmative leadership that is willing to mediate and calm down the situations. Instead, we have a president that's kind of, with his rhetoric, with his actions, inflaming the situation. When I have to listen to him and the attorney general say stuff like, "Oh, the left is doing all this stuff and these are Antifa tactics," what that is saying to me loud and clear is he's drawn a line and he's siding with the racists. Because in this current situation, what's happening now, it's people who have racist ideals against people who don't. And when he's telling me that he sees the people that are standing against racist ideals as the problem, then that's clear to me that he's standing with the racists. When he gets in front of a mic and says, "Oh, these guys have Antifa-like tactics and these far left blah 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 whatever," that's a man who, instead of taking the time to calm down the situation and unify the nation, he is adding flames to the fire and dividing us further. And he's chosen a side, regardless of what anybody's trying to say. He's chosen a side because clearly he's not on the side of people that are against racism. Yeah. He's not on that side. His very words and actions has painted a clear picture of what side he's on. Now, that being said, what we need most of all is for people to be unified right now. We're in a situation where the entire country feels like it's at the seams, about to just be torn apart because we're angry at each other based on the color of our skins. Yeah. That's what's going on right now. Like, people are angry. Like, I'm listening to, I've seen all these videos online where there's a bunch of black people like, "Oh, fuck these honkies, fuck these crackers, I don't give a shit, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that." And these people are angry. And let's be honest, a lot of these people have a right to be angry, but the way they're venting their anger is very destructive for the country on a whole. It's not, I understand the anger, I understand the rage, I understand it. because I've been a victim of it myself. Still, I am never going to be anti-cop because at the end of the day, no matter how you feel, police are a necessity for this society to function. What we need to change is the way police interact with all communities. People that are right now feeling like their backs are against the wall and they've forever been prodded and poked. And that's a situation that if you keep on poking somebody and poking somebody and poking somebody when they're asking you to stop and they're trying to get away and there's no outlet for them, at some point they're going to snap. And the problem is, like I said, we don't have any leadership that's willing to step in, mediate, and calm down the situation. We have Trump that's gonna say, get the military out there, let's look at these peaceful protesters and forcibly remove them because I want to go take a picture with a Bible in front of a church that I'm not even gonna go into. I just want to walk out here, take a picture, and walk back to the White House. And understand that he does everything based on ego because he only did that because the night before the White House was attacked and they forced him to hide underground. And he didn't like that story being peddled to the media. So he reacted in this way. Now, Trump has the capability to do the right thing. But is he going to? I'm waiting for him to do the right thing. I'm ready to have Trump's back if he's capable of doing the right thing. But is he going to? Like, because that's what we need right now. The country, like, and if you pay attention to what's going on around the world, like read social media, people are protesting all across the globe because of what happened to George Floyd. And let's be clear about this. A lot of people don't know George Floyd. We don't know the history of the man. We don't know all the goods and all the bad things he's done. But we do know for a fact that he died in a way that he didn't have to.
Yeah.
He was literally begging for his life. Literally asking this man to take your knee off his neck. And this guy decided to stay where he was at with other cops around him looking on, helping him hold down. Like, because it wasn't just that one guy on him. No. 3 cops was on him. All 3 of them were on him. And one guy just so happened to be on his neck while he was begging for him to take his knee up. The other cops standing around looking. People aren't going to be simply satisfied with, oh, these guys are charged and we've got them going to jail or whatever. That's not going to be enough. What needs to happen now is they need to create laws that stop police officers from being able to act in this manner with no check on them. Because because nobody else could do that. Nobody else could do that. As a citizen of this country, you cannot just take my life and get away with it. You think I could just decide one day I'm going to hold Elliot down and put my knee in his neck until he can't move, and that's going to be fine? It's not going to be fine.
No.
Nobody's going to accept it. His family isn't going to accept it, and they shouldn't. Nobody is going to accept it, and they should not. That's not something that should happen. No law enforcement person should have that authority to do so, especially when this person is telling you, dude, I can't fucking breathe.
Yeah.
Please, could you take your knee up? And this guy is just choosing not to. Like, that's crazy. And like I said, it's so much. It's such a loaded situation. Yeah. There's so many things about this situation that I could talk about this shit for hours because it's just not a right situation. I'm not saying George Floyd was a great guy. I don't know anything about the guy. I would have to literally go home and research him right now. For all I know, he was a career criminal. It doesn't mean he deserved to die the way he did. No. And this is the crazy thing about his situation is that he's not the first. This isn't the first time we've seen it. Like, the crazy thing is, what really made people angry is that we just watched the kid Aubrey get murdered. We just watched this on film where he got shot to death, and we found out that the guys who killed him didn't even get charged and weren't even going to, like, nobody would have ever said anything if that video didn't come out. They would have been free and clear to have committed that murder. And then on top of that, we now get a police officer just blatantly deciding, fuck this guy's life, right? And that's the thing that triggered everybody. That's the thing where it's just like, and within this year, just consider the fact of seeing that year after year after year after year. Yeah. Just imagine being a person who have experienced bad things from police. Imagine being a person where your family member, your son, your father, your brother, your uncle, nephew was somebody who was fucking victimized by a police officer. And this was a situation where there were no cameras. So now it's your word against theirs. And we know how that plays out every single time. If the cop says something, the cop is right, no matter what he did to you. This cop could beat the shit out of you. He could break your bones. He could rape your girlfriend right in front of your face. Yeah. And he could write up a report and say that you were the aggressor. And he can now charge you and put you in jail. Like that, it's a fucked up existence, but people live it.
Yeah.
You know, people get fucking framed for all types of shit where a cop will put drugs on you, put guns on you. Like, cops do fucked up things. Now, here's the problem that I have with the situation. I know that all cops aren't bad, and I'm not even advocating for all cops to be put through the ringer for it. What I'm saying is, because cops won't police other cops, because there are good cops that stand by knowing that these bad cops are doing shit and they do nothing about it. There's a lot of reasons why they don't. Some of the cops just don't want to be bothered. They don't want to be involved. Some cops know that if I do get involved, I have to deal with the fallout. Some cops realize that if I say something, if I stand up, I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose my job. These guys are going to ostracize, whatever. You know, so there's reasons why these guys don't come forward. But at the end of the day, the situation is this simple. The people that are in charge, our legislative fucking leaders, the people that we elect to create laws to govern and protect us, these people need to do something. They need to do something because the boiling point is here. We're at a point that the very next thing that triggers a movement could be the thing that incites a war, right? Because people are fed up. The police cannot be able to act with impunity and do shit to just a select group of people at that. Not saying that the police don't attack whites or Hispanics or Asians. The cops do have negative impact with everybody, but there's only one group of people that there is a systemic built-in bias that stems back 400 years. There's only one group of people that has that bias built in. So we just need our leaders, our elected officials, our senators, our congressmen, our fucking governors, our president. We need our legislative branch to fucking pass comprehensive laws that stop police from being able to brutalize and murder us with no consequences. If these guys are so afraid, they shouldn't be police. If you are so afraid, if you're so scared, you shouldn't be a cop. This is not the job for you. It's not. You can't be in a job where you're terrified of doing the job. Everybody that looks at police work understands fundamentally built into the job is difficulty. It is a difficult job. It is hard to do. You are going to deal with people that are breaking the law and doing scummy shit that will try to take your life, that won't cooperate. It's built in. But when you start believing that every single black person in the country is this way, you're part of the problem. Yeah. You're part of the problem because now we're at the point where police are kicking in doors and they're not killing street thugs. They're not killing Bloods and the Crips. They're not killing gangbangers. They're killing professional black people. They're kicking in doors and killing entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, paramedics. Like they're killing professional blacks. They're kicking in doors, unapologetically firing shots with zero consequences. Yep. That is unacceptable on every level. I don't care how anybody feels about it. It is unacceptable. If this like we live in an era where people like to say, I've heard people say this a lot. Oh, black people make up 13% of the population and they account for 50% of the crime, which on its face is a blatant lie. If you want to argue stats, actually look up the stats, right? I have, right? Black people account for less than 25% of crimes. White people account for a slightly larger amount, but there are way more white people. Yeah. But the underlying truth behind this is black communities are heavily policed. If you put police heavily in any area, you're going to consistently find crime. The reason that the crime rates in affluent white communities are far less is because there are no police there to check the crimes. Nobody's out there checking the crimes. So these people are allowed to sell drugs, sell guns, commit all types of crimes with no fucking punishment and nobody stopping them because they're white, they live in upscale places, and everybody's gonna say, like, you think the people that control Beverly Hills are ever gonna be okay with cops regularly policing Beverly Hills? They're not, because that's gonna drive down property value. So it's not gonna happen. So in Beverly Hills, you could go in there and you can get your hands on the best drugs, you get your hands on the best weapons, you could make the best illegal contacts with no worry, with zero worry of anything, because it's Beverly Hills. But if you go down the street to fucking, one of the fucking ghettos or one of the hoods, you're going to find 5 times the amount of police there arresting a whole shitload of people because they're policing the area. They don't police some places, they police other places. That's a fact. That is on the books, on the records. You could Google that and find it out.
People.
As we wrap up the podcast, I just want to sit there and say
I'll let you wrap it up because I'll go and let you finish it. No, I can't even comment after what Al just said because I'm fucking drunk. But like, no, what he just said tomorrow at work. I'm gonna re-listen to what Al said. But like I said, I have opinions of my own, not biased by any means, but I'm too fucking drunk to elaborate. But what Al said was powerful shit, and that's why I said too. I love when Al breaks shit down, and I wish more people on social media, you would actually sit down and listen, have a civil conversation, listen to the fucking facts, listen to the way he's making fucking sense. These people, look, I've grown up in some decent all-white neighborhoods, guys. I've also grown up in some decent or some black neighborhoods, and he's not fucking lying. If you live in certain gated white fucking communities, you see one cop like a month. If you live in certain fucking black neighborhoods, the cops are there every goddamn 5 minutes. And you can lie to yourself all you fucking want. I've lived on Indian reservations. I lived in fucking white neighborhoods, black neighborhood fucking hoods. I've seen everything. And it's like, if you don't think this shit is fucked up, then you're just in an extreme amount of denial. And this is the problem too with social media. If I say an opinion, I'm just a white asshole. If Al says something, he makes fucking points. Even though that our opinions and our voices should be equal, but unfortunately in this day and age, it's not. So that's why I let Al break shit down, and I'm lucky enough to agree with the guy. So before Junior wraps it up, I'll just say my usual fucking spiel. Like Al, say what you gotta say about the local communities and shit, man.
Protect your local communities, protect your neighbors and your neighborhood. Donate to your local police station, your hospitals, your libraries, your schools. Protect your neighbors, protect the neighborhood, protect yourself.
It's dangerous times right now, guys. And as a fucking dad who just had a son turn 13 years old, I'm scared in the sense that we talked about this before about any kind of a civil or race or whatever. The fact that my kid has to be dragged into this shit because my kid loves everybody. He loves everyone. He has friends of all fucking races, of all creeds, of all fucking religions. My kid doesn't see Junior any different than Elliot or Al or his Aunt Kaya, on his mother's side, all his fucking white aunts. My kid's just a kid. Kids love everybody. And the fact that I have to talk to my 13-year-old about the fucking racist, sick shit that goes on. It fucking breaks my heart as a fucking dad. I want him to stay 8 years old and innocent, and I want him to be oblivious of this shit. But unfortunately now, I have to talk to my kid about, why cops are fucking killing innocent fucking people because of their fucking skin color. Like, how that shit is hard as a fucking parent. To really explain to him, Dad, I love Big Al. I love Uncle Junior. And unfortunately, it's fucked up. But as usual, before Junior wraps this up, guys, I love you. And as always, I don't want your fucking money. I don't need your fucking money. And neither does Al or Junior or Elliot. You want to give money, give it to a good cause. If we ever make a cent off this fucking podcast, we got right now a 4 microphone fucking set. We will eventually get a 6 microphone set. We will just want people to help us just fucking pay for some better equipment because we're all fucking broke. We're like you. We got fucking bills to pay. You want to donate $5? Help us buy a better, a better microphone or something. But I don't want you to help me pay my fucking bills. Help that nurse pay her fucking bills. Feed them kids. Take care of your fucking children. There's businesses. I just bought pizza yesterday for me and my son at Paisan's Pizza. Paisan's was one of the many neighbor businesses in Albany that got fucking trashed. That shouldn't have got fucking trashed. I just gave to Paisan's Pizza $25 because I support my local communities. I'm not going to support some asshole on fucking YouTube or Twitch or fucking TikTok who doesn't fucking work. Those people are fucking paisans. They're working 16, 17, 18-hour fucking days trying to get by, feed their fucking families. Don't give me your fucking money or some asshole on fucking Twitch. If you want to give us fucking money, help us make this equipment sound better. That's all we fucking want to. But I don't fucking need you to pay my goddamn rent or my car insurance or my fucking mortgage. It's already fucking paid. Big Al's car's paid for. Junior's fucking bills are paid. Elliot's fucking bills are paid. We're doing this shit because we love doing this with our friends, and I don't fucking need to beg you for your fucking hard-earned money. That's all I gotta say.
Facts. I agree 100%.
All right, guys. All right. I started it for the first time, and I'm going to end it for the first time. I am a douchebag, and I don't give a flying fuck. And I'm letting you guys know that right the fuck now. All right? Now, at the end of the day, I'm glad that, you know, I got some of my friends and coworkers to talk about the podcast and stuff like that, and we plan on talking way more about different stuff. You guys give me dialogue, and it will come out. You guys give me a question, and I will damn sure answer it, especially if it's about eating ass. But I want you guys to know that we are, especially me, like especially Chris too, because he's becoming a borderline alcoholic.
Yep.
But you know,
Puerto Rican rum.
with us, we're really just about just giving a voice, you know, and it's just like, you know, I encourage people, you know, become a part of the podcast. Yeah. Whether I'm talking through you or, you know, you're actually coming here to talk with us, you know, bring discussions to the table, bring things to the light. Social media is not our only voice.
Yeah.
Social media is not our, you know, the Spectrum News, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. That is not our voice. That is their voice. That's the government's voice. We have our own voice, and it's right here on Blue Collar Losers. This is where your voice is. So make sure that you message me on Facebook. I'm Ill Will on Facebook. Hit the inbox. Ask me questions. I don't care what the question is. Lance asked me a question about competitive sex. Ask me a question and I will answer it.
Lance, I will find you this article. I'm telling you, there was a contest where these Japanese guys were getting jerked off for 24 hours. I'm going to find it for you.
So just to let you know, guys, we are going to do this. You know, as soon as the episode gets uploaded, I will be tagging everybody on Facebook that was shouted out in the episode that asked us questions. I'm going to encourage everybody on my Facebook, and when I make a Twitter, I'm going to encourage everybody to literally ask us questions, to give us more dialogue. Do not be hateful. Hate gets you blocked. I said this in episode 1. I'm going to say it again 11 episodes later. Hate gets you blocked. And if you don't like the fact that I eat ass, that gets you blocked too.
What did Al say, Junior, on episode 1?
Huh?
What did Al say in episode 1?
block that block button.
He's like, we are lethal.
I was like, we are lethal with the block button. that is a sure fact. I was like, that is a sure fact.
Tomorrow night when we get off work, we'll work on the Twitter. So we have to very, very carefully create a Twitter account because I've seen the fucking toxicity of Twitter, and it's like I want to be very careful with this shit because a lot of fucking scumbags on Twitter.
So, you know, we've been at this for a while tonight, guys, but you know what?
55.
You know, so as I end this today, thank you for listening once again, and we'll be doing another episode this coming Tuesday.
Be good.
Peace.
All right.
See you.